play the football today.
The Dragons did rush for 117 yards last week, albeit they had already gotten behind big. They were down 23-0 after one quarter. I asked Steve Lockley, let me ask you, how important was it for the Dragons to prove to themselves they could run the football last week?
Yeah, I think that they were able to gain some satisfaction and confidence later in the football game by being able to move the ball on the ground. This is a difficult game, and when you can't move the ball, you cannot run it. The game becomes very distracted. It becomes very choppy. It's really hard to get an offensive rhythm. But more importantly, the defense quickly becomes aware of that, and you'll see that today. If the Dragons can't run the ball, they will make life miserable for Kevin and the receivers.
Steve Lockley also told me
Dragons today, and conversely, that means they're going to need some help from their offensive pals.
there are two other games in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference that are kicking off at this 1 o'clock hour. Upper Iowa will be at Wayne. The Wildcats' playoff hopes have pretty much vanished. But if you want to talk, the first regional poll came out this week. How about Minnesota Duluth at St. Cloud? The Bulldogs are the number 3 team in the region. St. Cloud is number 5. If Minnesota Duluth does a number on St. Cloud today, we might be only looking at one NSIC team to make the 16 playoff.
Yeah, and interesting, didn't St. Cloud scare the Dogs last year in the playoffs? I think they did. I think that was an overtime thing. So not much difference between those two clubs. Certainly that would be a big, big game today.
Yeah, 6 teams in the region, 24 in Division II. Let's take another time out. When we come back, we'll have your opening kickoff for Moorhead. You're listening to live coverage of MSU Moorhead football on the Eagle 106.9.
Know your sports. Read the Forum Sports section every day to get the very latest scores and stories about your favorite local teams and players. Complete coverage of both high school and college athletics. From basketball to football to hockey and volleyball, the Forum follows the story. The Forum is also the area's leader in professional sports from around the nation and the world. With the Forum, you'll know your sports. Pick up a copy at newsstands today or subscribe by calling 241-5445. That's 241-5445. And get the Forum conveniently delivered right to your door. Valley Imports, the import giant, is geared up to partner with MSUM Athletics as they open another exciting season of Dragon football. Buying a quality import doesn't have to be as tough as running through a 250-pound linebacker or as costly as a fumble on the goal line. At Valley Imports, they have the top names in quality pre-owned imports. Brands like Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Audi, and Mitsubishi at prices you can afford. So if you're ready for a new or pre-owned vehicle, stop by Valley Imports on 40th Street just north of West Acres, or see them online at valleyimports.net.
KEGK-FM, Wapaton, Fargo, Moorhead, a division of Great Plains Integrated Marketing.
My radio won't change to any other channel.
All classics all the time.
You guys rock.
Your Eagle 106.9.
At home, a child takes her first steps. In a lab, a research team discovers a cure. Moments like these change our lives forever. At Sanford Health, today's pioneers are working on those moments. Not afraid to look beyond the horizon, opening new clinics worldwide, curing juvenile diabetes. You can count on us during your life's moments, too. It's the pioneer spirit, alive and well at the new Sanford Health.
Papa John's Pizza helps satisfy any hunger, but especially the college student hunger. Wow. In fact, Papa John's has a student special. Buy a large one-topping pizza for $8.99. Get a second large one-topping pizza for just $4. Just show your student ID when you get the pizzas. This special good at all locations in Fargo, Moorhead, including the Papa John's at 8th and Main in Moorhead, where you can call for that student special at 236-7272. That's 236-PAPA. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Valley Imports, the import giant, is geared up to partner with MSUM Athletics as they open another exciting season of Dragon football. Buying a quality import doesn't have to be as tough as running through a 250-pound linebacker or as costly as a fumble on the goal line. At Valley Imports, they have the top names in quality pre-owned imports. Brands like Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Audi, and Mitsubishi at prices you can afford. So if you're ready for a new or pre-owned vehicle, stop by Valley Imports on 40th Street just north of West Acres, or see them online at valleyimports.net.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the guy that gets to oversee Herbert and Gerbert's. Here's what I know about catering. Say you have a party or a meeting and suddenly a big platter of really awesome sandwiches show up. Well, I think your party just got more festive and your meeting just got more productive. If there's great soup to go along with those sandwiches and it all shows up on time and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, you can't go wrong with that, right? We're Herbert and Gerbert's, subs with discovery and catering with character. Thanks for listening.
For locations in Fargo-Moorhead, call 478-SUBS. Show your Dragon spirit at the Minnesota State University Moorhead Bookstore. For your favorite Dragon apparel, from sweatshirts to t-shirts to other Dragon sportswear, the bookstore also has a wide selection of school, office, and art supplies, plus computer software, hardware, and accessories. The Minnesota State University Moorhead Bookstore is open to the public and can be found at the McLean Hall, right on campus. Go Dragons!
Our fourth home game this year, color guard, beautiful rendition of the national anthem here. That's why the extended delay. Steve DeStacio back with you alongside Larry Scott from Alex Nemzek Stadium here in Moorhead. You documented last week when it was 60 down in Sioux Falls. It's 50 here today. We do have a chilly wind coming from the southeast or right to left at 16 miles per hour, but again, blessed with another gorgeous day for football.
Yeah, and a spectacular playing field right now. People should see this. It's absolutely gorgeous what the grounds crew has done. We've heard that comment this week from the coaches and players. It is in outstanding shape, and certainly I've never seen it all the years I've been here look this good, this deep in a football season.
This part of the country, my friends from back home in the Baltimore, Washington area malign me all the time about how crummy the weather is up there. Right now, they're enduring a major winter storm where they might see a foot of snow dawning down on college football games all over the East Coast today.
Oh, yeah, and we feel awful, don't we? But no, yeah, this has been an amazing fall, not only for all of us, but those connected with football. The Dragons have played under almost gorgeous conditions every week. There's something spooky about this fall. It's really been nice.
The Dragons won the coin flip, deferred. Wes Kramer's about to kick it off. Jordan Washington and L.B. Poper deep. Here's the approach and the kick. A good high end-over-end deep kick that goes all the way through the end zone in the air. Wes Kramer using that 16-mile-an-hour breeze, and the University of Mary will go on offense first, moving from left to right or into the wind. Mary clad in their white uniforms with blue and orange trim. The Dragons are in the reds with white and black trim.
Yeah, making a statement right away, opening play. What a kick that time by Kramer. Absolutely no thought of a return by the Marauders that time. Mary will set up at the 20, and we'll see them on their first series. Just how anxious and how dependent they are, Steve, on their passing game.
And how good their quarterback is. I was talking to your good friend and mine, Brian Larson, Sports Information Director from the University of Mary. He is convinced that his quarterback, Craig Bagnell, who's thrown for over 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns this season, is the best in the NSIC. They start on the ground. They give it to Josh Murray straight up the middle, and he gets nailed by Dave Galler, junior inside linebacker, Farmington, Minnesota. Brad Howard's out for the Dragons.
Yeah, you like Bagnell. Hey, give us a backup. Edwards, how about that? The guy's throwing 8 touchdown passes without an interception.
And they go no huddle. And there's Bagnell throwing and overthrowing. If he was pressured that time, Jake Letting also getting a start. Junior inside linebacker from nearby Fergus Falls.
Well, the Dragons are nicked up a little bit. The injuries, we're hopeful the Dragons are getting Zach Triangle back on the offensive line. I don't think that'll happen today, maybe next week, but it's a thin team, and injuries certainly add to that problem.
Mary no huddles again. It's 3rd and 8. Here's a wide open man. It's Curtis Dara. He parked himself right at the 30-yard line. Easy pitch and catch, and then he'll roll up the near hash for 6 more yards and pick up a first down.
Yeah, too easy, I think. I think the players certainly feel that way. I know the defensive staff. 3rd and 8 made it way too easy to get the first down.
Again, no huddle. Again, Bagnell. Short, sweet, near side. It's Tyler Steffen. He's 2nd in the NSIC in yardage at 688. That was his 37th catch of the year. He'll pick up 6 yards to the 42-yard line. So it's 2nd and 4 again. Mary no huddling. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Near side, having a hole, is Evan Gross. He averages 3.2 yards per pop. And he'll make it up to the 48-yard line before being shoved out of bounds by Travis Davidson. That's another Mary first down.
Yeah, and they're doing it quickly, aren't they? It's like a game, old records on the 45, and you turn it up to 78. This is a very, very fast game right now, and that adds to a little problem, I think, for the Dragon defenders right now.
This is the sixth play from scrimmage. We're a minute into the ball game. From the near hash, 1st and 10, Bagnell throws, completed. Stephan again. Somebody better pay attention to 88. That was easy once again. 18 yards, another first down, out of bounds at the Dragon 34-yard line. Again, Davidson the shove out.
Well, he's a playmaker. 7 touchdown receptions in the last 2 games. That's a bundle, so I know they're concerned about him going deep.
Murray, off left tackle, stumbles and gets tripped up. First on the scene for MSU Moorhead, Mike Mann, sophomore defensive end, Plymouth, Minnesota. Josh Murray gained a couple to the 31-yard line, set up 2nd and 6, 13:29 remaining here in the first quarter. Opening drive for Mary. They're on the move. Out of gun. Bagnell, back to pass. Dragons bring 4. Throw, incomplete. He had Stephan open on the far side. Zach Askelson was in the neighborhood, but Bagnell, a rare misfire.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, can we catch your breath? Can you slow this thing down? Man, this is a frantic pace, isn't it, Steve? It seems like we've been out here for an hour, but it's just, moments into this first drive. But they pack a lot of plays into this, I'll tell you that.
All right, here's another third down for the University of Mary. They've converted on 38%. More importantly, the Dragons have had troubles stopping third downs. From the far hash, 3rd and 6. They'll set up the screen. It's Josh Murray. Near side gets the block. He's got a lot of running room. Hops over the 20, across the 15, cuts it towards the sideline, gets dragged down from behind by Tyler Brody at the 13-yard line. A harmless little pitch and catch goes for 18.
Yeah, they drug their big lineman out there, Everest Moore from Palmer, Alaska, 270-pound right guard, pulled on at the 3 against 1 for the Dragons. That's too easy.
On 1st and 10, Bagnell rolling to his left, looking towards the end zone. Incomplete, broken up at the last moment by Tyler Brody. He was looking for Brian Sandy, his big tight end out of Harvey, North Dakota, but we do have a flag on the field.
Yeah, first time the Dragons, I think, got their hand on the football. That was a good breakup by Brody.
This veteran Northern Sun crew is led by Tim Weber, and his indication is holding against the University of Mary. You mentioned Everest Moore. How about his right side partner? Aaron Chavez, the right tackle, 6'5", 340, a senior out of Redding, California. The Dragons do accept the penalty. They're going to push him back to the 23-yard line. It's 1st and 20 for the University of Mary, 12:55 remaining here in the first quarter. This is the opening drive for the Marauders, who come into this ball game 4-4. They really never put any extended winning streak together. In fact, they haven't won 2 games in a row all season long. They did dismantle Bemidji last week by the score of 49-21, looking for number 2 in a row today.
Yeah, and part of that's understandable. They had to operate 3 games without Bagnell, their great quarterback. But interestingly enough, Edwards, the young guy we talked about, came in and really played well in relief.
All right, after Tim Weber allowed Craig Bagnell to have a conversation with him, Bagnell goes under center. Here's 1st and 10. Throw, far side, incomplete. He was looking for his speedy wide receiver, Curtis Dara. A little bubble on the left side fell at his footsteps.
Yeah, underthrown. I think he was open. I don't think it could have turned into much, but one of the few times so far that Bagnell misfired.
So it's 2nd and 10. The Dragons have Steve Parks, Terrell Ayers, Corey Capper, Max Pryor on the front line. 2nd and 10. Bagnell, some time, throws, complete, short on the left side. It's John Burke, another tight end, a senior out of Thornton, Colorado. Only goes for 3, and now this sets up 3rd and 17 from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that time Tyler Brody was able to close very quickly, came up from his safety position. As you mentioned, it's kind of a modest pickup that time. The Dragons right now playing a little bit tighter defense against the pass, and they have to down here, Steve.
Brody, 2nd in the NSIC in tackles, behind Jeff Schutte, 15th in all Division II. 3rd and 17 from the far hash. 2 receivers near side. Bagnell, some time. Throws, has a man. It's Tyler Stephan. He'll go into the end zone. Touchdown, the University of Mary. The Dragons are arguing on the near sideline that Bagnell was across the line of scrimmage, and that's what Steve Lockway is pleading, although it'll fall on deaf ears.
Yeah, and boy, that time they got good pressure, but just not quite able to put Bagnall away, and that gave their receivers extra time to get open. By the time he eluded the pass rush at last, he had a bunch of receivers to pick from the Dragons. Just couldn't hold that coverage that long, Steve. Wide open, easy touchdown.
So that 20-yard pass completion for the touchdown on a 3rd and 17. Tyler Ryan on for the point after try, and it's through. We take a break. 12:06 remaining in the first quarter. Mary's on the board early. They lead at 7-0.
Dahl's Certified Auto Body wants to remind you that you have a right to choose where you get your car fixed. When you have an accident, there's one name you can trust for your auto body work. Dahl's Certified Auto Body has set the standards all others have followed in auto body work. No one does a good job at a fair price better than Dahl's Certified Auto Body, serving Fargo-Moorhead for over 27 years. Dahl's, 1 block west of Old 52 in Moorhead.
Good job, fair price. Dahl's Certified Auto Body.
How happy are you if you're head coach Myron Schultz, University of Mary head football coach? 12 plays, 80 yards, only 3 minutes off of the clock. And here at the 12:06 mark in the first quarter, the Dragons find themselves in a familiar spot, and that's down early.
Yeah, and what a way to get started if you're the University of Mary. If you were concerned at all about a possible upset, and I'm sure they were a little bit wary coming into this football game. Nothing makes a statement better than that, to take that opening kickoff, relentlessly go the length of the field. Steve, 80 plays, 80 yards rather, 12 plays, 7-0 early. And how about Stefan now? Another touchdown pass. What's he got, 11 already this year?
9, but it seems like 11 because he was all over the place on that opening drive. Bagnell, his 8th touchdown pass through the air. That matches his backup quarterback, Josh Edwards' total of 8. Ryan will kick this one into the wind. Mary with an unusual setup, 5 on each hash, and now they'll spread out. Ryan kicks it into the wind. It's going to come down to Alex Leach at his own 8-yard line. Near hash. Straight up the gut across the 20, 25, 30. Fumble on the play. Remember, Hendon fumbled last week at Augie. The Dragons do think they got on top of it, avoiding disaster. So the Dragons will start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Sean Marlowe, starting tight end, hopped on top of it.
Yeah. The Dragons avoided disaster that time.
Check that. Scotty Wright, radio guy, wrong again. Stefan's 11th. I'm getting my numbers from different places.
It's overall, and in the league.
Yeah.
In the league games, you're absolutely right, Steve. Whatever, big numbers. He's a big part of this passing game.
All right, so let's see what the Dragons can do on offense. 1st and 10, 30-yard line. They give it to Ibani, or Kevin Cook keeps it. Ibani had a little bit of a hole. Cook decided to grab it from his breadbasket at the last moment. He's going to lose 3 back to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, and he can blame himself on that. He's making the calls, as we talked about. He is the one that is seen and identifying the Mary defense and trying at the last second to figure out where the greatest chance to succeed is. That time he thought they were best served if he kept the football. Didn't work, a lot of pressure that time by the
defense. You think they can try and push the ball forward. They also said, or Steve Lockway did during his pregame report, we want to get the ball in the Kendall Hendon's hands, and they do. A 4-yard pickup, one of those little post patterns to the near side, but it sets up 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and a block. Casey Grodem, the freshman from Lisbon, not a outstanding or devastating kind of block, but enough to create a little seal there to let Hendon turn a play into which probably would have been nothing into a modest game.
Mary comes out in a 4-3 set. They show blitz from the far hash. 3rd and 9 for MSU Moorhead. 2 receivers on the near side. Cook throwing near side. Kendall Hendon tried to tip the ball to himself. Arthur Pittman, a senior cornerback out of Portland, Oregon, said no.
Yeah, and he was sitting, lying in wait, wasn't he? He was right there, awaiting a deflection possibly. Actually, there were about 3 or 4 Marauders in the area, and Cook put it up where only, in theory, Hendon could catch it, but a deflection could have ended up in an interception.
So the Dragons will kick it away, and it looks like Wes Kramer has assumed punting duties once again from Lausanne to here. Mary puts 9 on the line of scrimmage, and they're going to set up for punt return. Kramer gets off a high, booming, spiraling kick. Fair catch called for and made by Evan Gross. at his 28-yard line. A 43-yard punt with the win with no return for Kramer.
Yeah, and very early on in this game, all of a sudden, we get to an important, if not critical, juncture in this football game. I know it's way too early to be talking in those kind of graphic terms, perhaps, but the Dragons need desperately a defensive stop right here. If Mary's able to show that swagger march the length of the field again, then that would be the indicator of a tough, long day for the Dragons.
Bagnell on that first drive. How about 6 of 9 for 79 yards and the 20-yard touchdown strike to Steffen. 10:34 remaining first quarter. Marauders lead the Dragons 7-love. First and 10, 28-yard line. Bagnell wants to put it up and throw long. And it's complete. Zach Askelson never turned around. Brady Martin did at the Dragon 45-yard line. He'll pick up 27 yards and a first down.
Yeah, 3 receivers from Mary came into this game with 20 or more catches. In fact, they've got 6 different receivers in double digits. But Martin, kind of quiet behind the headlines of Steffen, but 22 catches, now 23.
Now they're going to keep it on the ground. Gross off left tackle, bounced it outside, and he'll bounce across the 40-yard line. Bounce off the turf, thrown down by Tyler Brody, but he picks up 6.
Yeah, and he's just the backup running back to Murray. Man, we're looking at this. They've got a lot of weapons to choose from. Very versatile football team.
And they know huddle. Play action. Bagnell with all day rolling this side. Throws incomplete. A whole host of red jerseys in the vicinity of Brady Martin, including Askelson, Travis Davidson, and Antonio Hardy-Dundee.
Yeah, good coverage that time. Dundee came over to lend support. That time the Dragons in a kind of a lockdown mode. Great coverage.
All right, 3rd and 4. Mary in a hurry. Not giving the Dragons a chance to sub again. Screen pass incomplete. Good pressure that time by Corey Capra. Bagnell turned around, had a red shirt right in his face, and couldn't hook up with Evan Gross.
Yeah, distracted, uncomfortable at best. That time the pressure got to him, and he threw the ball a little bit earlier in life. He's looked so comfortable and relaxed back there, and you kind of got to get him out of that mode if you can. That time they brought a little extra pressure, and great job.
I agree with you. I mean, we're only 5 minutes and 6 seconds into a 60-minute football game, but that was a big stop for the Dragon D.
Absolutely.
Tyler Ryan not only place kicks, but he's going to punt it away. No, maybe it's a fake. He's going to run to his right, now get rid of it, and he's going to shank it on the near side. Almost hits the golf cart closest to the Dragon sidelines. That's an 8-yard punt to the 30-yard line. 8 yards for Tyler Ryan. I know the wind's blowing, but that's embarrassing.
He might as well just kept running. I bet you Myron Schultz tells him that, son, if that's all you're going to get out of this, we'll live with that fake field goal. I think that's probably how he normally does it, one of those rollout punters. But, yeah, into the wind, but still 8 yards. Not good.
So the Dragons take over, trailing 7-0, 9:47 remaining first quarter. They have 1st and 10 near hash 30-yard line. Keep it on the ground. Ebony Lucius West. Only on second effort will he pick up 1.5 yards.
Yeah, and they are going to try and run the football. I'm not sure at all costs, but until they are convinced that they no longer have the capability to run against this team, they're certainly going to give it a try. I would expect that at least throughout the first half, Steve.
Other games in the Northern Sun today, Bemidji plays at Northern. That's a 2:30 game. Bemidji's ranked 10th in the region. They're going to have to run the table beginning today and hope for a lot of help. Second called a long 8 for the Dragons, 32-yard line, center of the field. Give again, Ebony, and he gets met instantly by Colin Matheson, junior defensive lineman, all the way from Seattle, Washington. Ebony's going to lose 1.5 yards, and he'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Bemidji State's been one of those kind of feel-good stories in the league this year, right, Steve? And then last week, wow, did Mary take them apart? And so the Beavers really in a little bit, so trying to bounce back this weekend. But it said something maybe about both teams. Maybe they're not legitimate completely, Bemidji, and maybe perhaps Mary is.
3rd and 10 near hash, 30-yard line or 31-yard line. Brandon Shell in the ball game. He'll block for Cook, who's in a whole lot of trouble, and he's going to throw the ball away as he gets sat on by Josh Oilo, sophomore defensive end from Williston, North Dakota. He and 2 of his friends were untouched.
Yeah, and there was really nobody almost in the gun sights that time for Cook. There was really few, if any, options with that passing game. He was fortunate perhaps simply to throw it out of bounds. So the Dragons struggling a little bit now in the passing game. 1 for 3 for Cook for just 4 yards.
And no time. Evan Gross, L.B. Pope back deep. Here's Kramer. He'll get off another beautiful, booming, spiraling kick. Gross at the 20-yard line. Gets tripped up by Bark Williams. He'll forge forward to the 24-yard line. That's a 50-yard punt and a 4-yard return.
Yeah, nicely done. Started with the snap. We forget about that sometimes. Bryson Pluta. Perfect snap. Great kick. Good coverage. And 3 components really into that. Nicely done.
So Mary will take over for the 3rd time. The first time they had the football, they ran right down the field. They had put up a 7 spot, and that's where we are now. It's 7-0, 8:13 remaining here in this first quarter on a chilly afternoon, but it is dry here in Moorhead. From the near hash, 1st and 10. Running back Josh Murray, receiver on each side. Double tight ends in for the University of Mary. Bagnell maybe changing the play at the line of scrimmage while he tries to warm up his hands. His big tight end Jared Wolf goes in motion. He'll block for Josh Murray. He takes it straight up the gut to the 30-yard line. 6 yards on first down, letting his second tackle.
Yeah, there's our man Murray, who's been the leading rusher, the most effective ball carrier for the Marauders this year. But as I mentioned, they go to their bench. They've got good depth. They're not afraid to bring other guys in to mix into the action. They've got a lot of different choices on offense.
It's a 3-man rotation. Murray, Gross, and Darius Gravely has also rushed for over 100 yards this season. 2nd and 4 for the Marauders, near hash 30-yard line. Dragons put 4, now 5 on the line of scrimmage. Bagnell, give. And met immediately in the backfield. Josh Murray, Corey Capper got him. He might have already also gotten his face mask.
He might have. See, that flag came out very quickly, and I don't think it was holding this time. We'll find out, but great pressure that time by Capper.
This is going to go against Mary.
Yeah, I think we may get an illegal block here, Steve, right?
Yeah. Tim Weber's our referee. He's talking to the line judge, Scott Hookey. Interesting decision for Steve Lockwade. He has set up 3rd and about 9, or do you push the Marauders back?
Yeah, we'll see. You want to take the ball out of their hands, too, in a way, reduce the number of plays they can, and you have the feeling they can strike, get that first down from about anywhere. But great penetration that time. Unfortunately, the penalty was assessed against Mary. Now, they're not penalized very often, but that would have been a crime if that play would have been wiped out, because that was the Dragons' first real big defensive play, I think, of the day. Nice play that time by Capper.
The Dragons do accept the penalty, so they're going to give Mary 2 cracks. This first one here is 2nd and 14, back at the 20-yard line. Near hash, 2 receivers, far side for Mary. On the near side, it's L.B. Pope. Again in motion to the far side, tight end Wolf. They keep it on the ground. It's Josh Murray. He's got some running room. Jeff Schuette's going to run him down shy of the 30-yard line. So the Dragons could have had Mary face a 3rd and 9. Instead, they're going to get some of that chunk back, and they're going to face 3rd and 5 from the 29.
Yeah, it tells you they want the field position, but I think number 2 tells you they have confidence in their defense.
Bagnell throws, completes, again, Steffen in front of Zach Askelson, and he's going to have enough for a first down as he gets pushed out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Well, they have confidence in their offense, too, right? Mary, particularly those 2 guys, Bagnell and Steffen. And that was kind of a mismatch first down, Marauders.
So Mary will continue this drive into this breeze from the 38-yard line. The ball's on the far hash of the field. The clock is winding with 6.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. We've been on the road for 2 weeks in a row. We get rewarded with a couple games in a row here at home. Here's a run. It's Darius Gravely, that 3rd running back, and he got popped. Corey Capra. Actually, Steve Parks hit him low, and then Capra almost decapitated him at the 41.
Yeah, and then Dave Galler came along later like, hey, fellas, let me in here, too. And he delivered a big blow. So a trifecta that time. He goes down in a Bermuda Triangle of Dragon tacklers.
Just his first run of the day. He did pick up 2. It's 2nd and 8. Bagnell out of the pistol. 4, now 5 on the line of scrimmage as Dave Galler is thinking about blitzing. Bagnell, throw, complete, far side. It's tight end Brian Sandy. And he gets violently thrown to the ground. This gorgeous field on this chilly autumn afternoon by Tyler Brody. Here we go again, Scotty. There are, 4 or 5 on third down so far? Here's a 3rd and 2 from just shy of midfield.
Yes, they are very effective on third down situations. Certainly another challenge for the Dragon defense. Ball about the 46. Mary leading 7-0. 5:16 left in the first period.
Bagnell under center. Hurries to the line. Trying to get the Dragons to jump, and now he's going to change the play at the line of scrimmage. Pair of tight ends in. They're going to keep it on the ground. It's Evan Gross, far side, and he's going to dive to midfield. He needed 3. He got 4. That'll be another Mary first down.
Yeah, bounced that time off the left end. I think he made an adjustment, as you mentioned, Steve, at the line of scrimmage. Saw something perhaps that troubled him a little bit. They bounced it to the outside enough for the first down.
Darren Dell will get credit for the tackle along with Jake Letting. So now the nose of the football touches the midfield stripe. It's 1st and 10 for the University of Mary. On the far hash, Sandy coming in motion to the near side. Bagnell looking this way. Now he's going to pitch the ball to his running back, Evan Gross. He's got a lot of running room. He'll get upended out of bounds on the far sideline by Antonio Hardy-Dundee. A well-designed play goes for 14 yards and a first down.
Yeah, and the Dragons had great pressure that time, didn't he? Just the last second he saw something and was able to dump it off. He had Ben Condon really put the heat on him. Man, very fortunate for the Marauders.
Here's Murray working the short side of the field, and he'll get tossed to the track out of bounds. But he picks up 6, almost 7 yards on the far sideline to the 30-yard line. Much too much on first down.
Yeah, and they're proving that they're anything but a pass-only kind of club, or pass first. Now they're mixing in the run. In fact, maybe leaning on the rug a little run on this drive, Steve.
But they're going to put it up on this down as he overthrows Jared Wolf, that big tight end out of New Salem, North Dakota. Scotty, I know you love to travel. If you're ever heading out on I-94, you go past Bismarck heading towards Dickinson, you see the biggest Holstein cow in the world, you know you're in New Salem, North Dakota. 3rd and 4, far hash 30-yard line. Dragons get some pressure, and it's intercepted. Travis Davidson read it beautifully as Brady Martin tried to do a button hook at the 25-yard line. Davidson read it, comes up with his second interception, or his first interception of the year, and the Dragons stop the Marauders deep inside their own territory.
Oh, he's a happy young man. He's talked about that all year to me, that he wanted that first pick. It's been bugging him. When you play in the secondary and see that many passes during the year, you just feel that at some point you got to be in the right spot at the right time, and he certainly was. Great pick that time. That blunts the drive, puts the Dragon offense back in the field.
Just the second interception tossed by Bagnell this season, the 5th pick for the Dragon defense. They get the ball back at the 27-yard line. Cook in some trouble, slings it downfield, going up and in between a pair of Marauders, and grabbing it is Alex Pearson. He'll pick up 20 yards and a first down.
Yeah, his buddy's there to surround him, yank him up, and say, hey, fellas, treat him gingerly. He got clipped from behind. Man, oh, man, Luke Singer that time, but a terrific catch, and what marvelous concentration. Wow, that ball was so high in the air. He knew he was in some crowded company around there, but he made sure he got it. Then he got wrapped, and he's kind of wobbling off a little bit. But, boy, what a terrific play that time by Alex Pearson.
He averages 20 or 10 yards per catch. He picked up 20 on first down. He just got helped off of the field by Keith Wiedrick and the Dragon training staff as they're going to help shake the cobwebs out. You're right. I think he knew he was going to get popped, but he held on to the ball. Dragons move. 1st and 10, center of the field, 42-yard line. Here's Ebony Lucius West trying to gain the outside edge, but he's going to get stood up and thrown down. Demetrius Allen, senior defensive back out of Metier, Louisiana.
You know, Coach Lockway, one of his messages to the ball club before today was how you have to reach higher to try and succeed. Literally stand on your tiptoes and reach. How prophetic was that? That is exactly what Pearson did. Man, did he take those words to the head coach and put it to good use.
Yeah. He also picked up 15, not 20. Either way, it's at the 43, 2nd and 9, clock winding. 3:25 remaining first quarter. Mary leads at 7-0. Empty backfield, 3 receivers to the right side, including Pearson, who's back in the ball game. Cook throws complete. Bark Williams makes his first catch of the season, gets run out of bounds on the near sideline at the 46-yard line, along with it, a flag.
Bark Williams, he's been a real kind of a handyman throughout his career here. Played a little offense, running back, special teams, whatever it's called for. Bark is there.
Bark Williams, 5'11", 190 pounds, out of Nicollet High School in Chicago. Great hands, still learning the offense. Look to me on that play, he's learned it.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of finding the right spot for people. And you hear about that a lot. And sometimes they come in as something else, and it takes a while to finally set in to be comfortable. And I think right now that they feel that's his best spot to make the best contribution he can.
And that contribution has the Dragons in Marauder territory. The 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Dragons on the move, near hash 2 receivers to the right side. Shell in the ball game. Cook throws, complete. It's Kendall Hendon. He's going to have another first down, creeping towards the middle of the field, brought down by a pair of Marauders, including Mike Wagner, but he picks up 11 yards and another first down.
Yeah, and a couple of Dragon receivers in the area. Sometimes that's dangerous, but that time Leach kind of slid through early, drew another defender with him, helped open up that passing lane.
Third first down of this drive, trying to capitalize on a terrific defensive play, an interception by Travis Davidson. 1st and 10, Marauder 35-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side. In the slot, Bark Williams. Cook throws, Kendall Hendon again. That quick hitter where he bubbles around towards the inside. This time he's only going to pick up a couple.
Yeah, a couple, and the ball might have popped loose for just a moment. I saw some people signaling that way on the Mary sideline. Justin English, free safety, on the tackle that time by the Marauders, but the ball safely back with the Dragons at the 32, and the Dragons trailing 7-0, 2:12 left, first period.
Wonder if English's hands are cold. I don't know where Cooper City, Florida is, but it sounds a lot warmer than it is here this afternoon. 2nd and 7 as we approach the 2-minute mark. Shell in the backfield, 2 receivers, including Brandon Thompson. And Cook keeping himself up the middle. He's got a lot of running room, and he'll dive across the 20-yard line, all the way down to the 16-yard line. A terrific read by Cook. His reward is 16 yards and a first down.
Yeah, dialed that one up himself, didn't he? And also, when he hit the deck, Steve, he went head first. You know, he wasn't going in there sliding with his feet first. Come on. He's a quarterback, a tough kid.
He's a competitor, and he knows he only has 3 competitive football games remaining in his life.
Yeah, and he comes from that tough town outside of Chicago, man. Mike Ditka would have liked that one.
Thompson and Leach line up on the far side. Bark, Williams, Kendall, Hendon on the near side. 1st and 10 from the 16. Cook faking, throwing towards the end zone. He had Brandon Thompson incomplete, and this looked like the old football days back in the 50s and 60s. Thompson just ran into the goalpost.
Yeah, and some people look at it and gasp some kind of a chuckle a little bit. I don't think Brandon's laughing, but it was in the back, as mentioned, right in the middle of the end zone. He was on the back line and kind of lost his balance and hit that padded pipe. And as you mentioned, people remember years ago that was on the goal line. Wow, was that something when you had the goalpost right there.
And there were 2 of them, and they weren't padded.
Right.
I think the fortunate thing for Thompson was he did fall down. 2nd and 10, empty backfield. A receiver on the near side is the running back, Shell, but they're going to keep it on the ground. Cook looking for some running room, and he's going to be run out of bounds by Demetrius Allen. He'll make his second tackle of the afternoon at the 14 as he picks up 2.
Yeah, Thompson comes out of the game. He's probably thinking, gosh, I'm limited. His time on the field now has been cut back because of a knee injury, and so he's really unable to be used as a running back anymore. So he doesn't get many snaps. It's frustrating for him at times. Finally gets one, hits the post.
And we didn't see this, but a flag is laying on the field at the 14-yard line, and there's one official talking to 5 guys wearing Mary on their jerseys, so this isn't good for the Dragons.
No, and we seem to be magnets for penalties somehow. You do. We'll look, probably it's my fault, we'll look at this before games and we'll read about how these teams are among the least penalized in the league, and it seems inevitably when we're working together, buddy, it's going to be a long day, lots and lots of flags on the field.
Great. I'm with my broadcast partner, and he looks at me and says, every time I'm hanging around you, it's a long day. Mary does accept the penalty. 2nd and 20, 27-yard line. Cook looking, and it's intercepted. A long pass across the far side of the field, intended for Kendall Hendon. picked off by Arthur Pittman for the University of Mary. He'll make his first interception of the season, and Mary gets it back.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're a Dragon fan. Part of me thinks you got to be thankful a little bit. Hannon was right there to wrap him up. Otherwise, the guy's gone. And that was my first thought. That thing hung out in the air a little bit too long in the flat. He read it perfectly. I thought he was going to take it all the way back.
But Davidson got it at about the 25. Might have been the 24, 26, whatever. And now they're on the other 25. The Dragons did move the football, A, proving they can move it against these guys, B, getting that defense rested.
Absolutely. Good point, Steve. It's not a lost series, and it's not really a turnover. In essence, Mary will start here, but...
Here's Gross running, and he gets loose, and he can't get taken down. Finally, he does by Travis Davidson, and a long heave of a flag thrown by our back judge, Jerry Beers. The run went to the 44-yard line. This is initially a 19-yard pickup, and Corey Capper just looked at Steve Lockway, grabbed his face mask. I don't know whether it was to adjust it or if that's the call. Here comes Tim Weber. Tim Weber's walking slowly. Tim Weber grabs.
On the offense, number 19. 15
That's Evan Gross, a running back out of Napoleon, North Dakota. So that 19-yard pickup will get nullified. The ball will be placed at the 26-yard line, and we're going to replay first down. So it'll be 1st and 9.
Yeah, and so it ends up, it's more than 15. I don't care what math you use in the end. That is certainly a very disappointing penalty. Very pricey one for the Marauders.
Yeah, they're asking Evan Gross to block, and he grabs a face mask. So Mary gets it, 40 seconds remaining, first quarter, leading 7-0. They're going to get the wind in less than a minute. Bagnell out of the gun. Give near side, it's Evan Gross, gets away from Tyler Brody. Tries to stiff-arm Jeff Schutte, but the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference's leading tackler says no. Pushes him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. He lost a couple. And now on the far side of the field, another pesky flag.
Well, that's how you get up among the national leaders defensively. Jeff Schutte from Wayzata High School out of Plymouth, just great pursuit. Played all the way to the boundary that time, as you mentioned. Came in ranked 7th in the country in tackles Division II.
And that's going to get nullified because the Dragons lined up offside. It might have been Jacob Letting on the near side. So this brings up the most curious and unusual 1st and 4 from the 31-yard line. A 19-yard run nullified. Forget it. I'm not very good at math. We all know that. Too complicated. I'll just look at the scoreboard. 10 seconds remaining, first quarter.
We'll get a penalty in a moment anyway. Don't worry about it.
Bagnell does snap it. Give near side Josh Murray. Gets away from Travis Davidson and then gets gang tackled out of bounds. It's going to be a first down. You know what? We've had enough. Let's sort this out. End of the first quarter for Moorhead. Mary leads the Dragons 7-0.
Show your Dragon spirit at the Minnesota State University Moorhead Bookstore. For your favorite Dragon apparel, from sweatshirts to t-shirts to other Dragon sportswear, the bookstore also has a wide selection of school, office, and art supplies, plus computer software, hardware, and accessories. The Minnesota State University Moorhead Bookstore is open to the public and can be found at the McLean Hall right on campus. Go Dragons!
All right, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. It's sponsored by the Forum of Fargo-Moorhead. Concordia St. Paul leads Minnesota Crookston. They just started the third quarter. They kicked off at noon. That's quite a concept. Concordia 31, Minnesota Crookston 7. Wayne State at the end of a quarter leads Upper Iowa 10-7 in about an hour. Bemidji will take on Northern in Northern. Northern's here next week at 4:30. Southwest Minnesota State will take the trek across the state east and take on Winona State.
building project underway at Minnesota Crookston will take some time. As expected, popular coaching change there, but they've got a ways to go yet, Stephen.
Yeah, again, math, bad. They said Gross stepped out of bounds before crossing the 35-yard line on the final play of the first quarter, so it was not a first down. It was 2nd and 1. And now here's an illegal procedure against the University of Mary. So out of the last 4 plays, we've had 3 flags.
Yeah, the game's getting a little disjointed right now, isn't it? It's, as we say, a little choppy, and the penalties certainly have a very disruptive force in a football game. Right now, both teams struggling a little bit to get some momentum and consistency back.
2nd and 6 for the University of Mary from their own 29-yard line. 2 receivers near side. Bagnell still has his hands in his pockets. He's cold. His running back, Josh Murray, is standing behind him on the 21-yard line. Dragons put 5 on the line. Bagnell comes up behind his offensive line. Now retreats back into the gun, the pistol, whatever you want to call it. And now throw, near side, it's Sandy. And he gets grabbed and taken down by Zach Askelson at the 30-yard line. He only picks up 1 or 2, so after all this mess, 3rd and 4 for the Marauders.
Yeah, nice job by Askelson, the freshman. Essentially a walk-on. He was here last year and did not play. Fought off a block that time to close pretty quick. Limit the damage. Nice job on the outside.
Mary over 200 yards already. The Dragons have 58. The Marauders have 201. 3rd and 4 for the Marauders near hash 31-yard line. Bagnell rolling to his right. Getting chased by Travis Davidson, throws the ball complete. He found his running back, Josh Murray, who cuts it inside towards the numbers. Schuette's going to wrestle him down at the 40-yard line. He'll pick up 9 yards. Now at the end of the play, Jerry Beers throws his flag again.
Yeah, and not much there initially, enough for a first down. That's really all the Marauders wanted and needed out of that play. Now, when it's all done, we get another penalty.
Jerry Beers will talk it over with his white cap, Tim Weber. And I have no idea who this flag is on. Usually when it's late like that, it's against the defense. Beers is talking to one of the Marauders. This may not be good if you're a Mary fan.
No, and this officiating crew seems in no particular hurry to sort it out or to let us know. They're here for the full afternoon, obviously, but it apparently will be against Mary.
That's what Beers is saying. And now let's see what Weber is saying.
Number 10, 15-yard penalty from the previous clock. Replay third down.
I don't know if you could hear that at home or wherever you may be, but this is a big break for the Dragons. It's offensive interference against Brady Martin.
Yeah, offensive interference against the wideout. You don't see that called a lot. 3rd penalty, 30 yards total so far for the Marauders. We mentioned normally they're pretty mistake-free.
Yeah, and we're going to talk with Allison Swenson, assistant basketball coach for the women, and maybe how her squad can set legal picks. I think that was an illegal pick. That's why the flag was thrown so late. It's 3rd and 19. Bagnell throws incomplete. He overthrew Karis Dara, his speedy wide receiver out of Malta, Montana. That's good coverage that time by the Dragons. Kevin Nelson, the freshman from Bemidji.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Swenson. I'll be listening when you're on at halftime. Very interesting. As you mentioned, a wonderful, cool, crisp day for college football, but college basketball right around the corner. And, of course, both the Dragon men and women will enter the season with high expectations. I know you'll detail it. I'll certainly be interested. I got to hear that.
Here comes Ryan in the punt. He's going to do it the traditional way, and he's going to shank another one, a high wobbler that goes out of bounds. Where are they going to mark this one out? This is another kick that was not very good. They're going to mark it out at the 40-yard line with the win. That's only a 24-yard punt, and the Dragons are going to get the ball at the Marauder 40-yard line.
Yeah, kind of a change of fortunes. You know, right away, Mary goes right down, scores. Initially, last year, if you remember, they jumped the Dragons quickly, built a 28-0 lead, took all the drama out of the game, and cruised home to a big win, 47-13, I believe. at Bismarck. And then, of course, today we thought, they score right away again. But since that point on, Dragon defense on a little backbone, 7-0, Mary lead.
Yeah, Mary's certainly dominating this football game. Now let's see if the Dragons can put some points up. Cook, on a busted play, is just going to go down. He'll lose 3 yards. Marcus Broom, senior inside linebacker out of Houston, Texas, will get credit for the tackle.
You're right, Steve. All the numbers favor the Marauders so far. 211 yards of total offense against just 58 for Moorhead. They've got 9 first downs. The Dragons just 4. But the Dragons are hanging around. That's the most important thing. That's really all that counts. Mary up by a touchdown, 7-0, but the Dragons at the Marauder 43.
13:30 remaining here in this chilly first half. Thompson remains the running back. Ebani Lucius West on the bench. Now Ebani did come back into the ball game, and he's going to get the call. Thompson came out to a receiver spot. It doesn't matter who they put back there. He lost a couple yards back to the 45.
Yeah, he stopped. He looked for a lane. He tried to fight off a tackler, and everything kind of caved in on him. And really not much room there. And it's one of the problems that you're going to have when you go with the young offensive line. We've talked as many as 3 freshmen will appear on the Dragon offensive front. That's pretty difficult when you're playing in the best Division II league in the country.
Those freshmen you're talking about, Drew Viken, the right tackle, Casey Grott on the right guard. 3rd and 15 for MSU Moorhead. Cook rolling to the near side. In a whole lot of trouble, throws it incomplete. Nobody in the neighborhood. Cook, for his troubles, got decked at the end of the play by defensive end Josh Orlow.
Yeah, my first thought is, he unloaded. Good for him. It wasn't intercepted. He got what he could, an incomplete pass. No harm, no foul. Yeah, there's a little harm back there. They still pasted Mr. Cook pretty good. That's a part of the operational hazards of being a quarterback.
So the Dragons get the ball after the terrible Ryan punt, and they accumulate -4 yards. Now here's a fumbled snap by Wes Kramer, and he's going to go down hard. Maurice Burrow, a special teamer out of Billings, Montana, buries Kramer. A good snap from Fluta. Maybe Kramer's hands were cold.
Yeah, I didn't see that. It would be, it'd be nice to take a look at that on a replay. But I think you're right, Stephen. I don't think you could fault the snapper that time, Mr. Fluta. I think it was good enough. Maybe it was the pressure. Maybe he took his eye off for a moment. Maybe he simply dropped the ball. That was understandable in this kind of weather. But, boy, that's a big turn of events right now. The Dragons playing pretty well at this point. Big break for the Marauders.
The Marauders gave the Dragons a big break, giving them the football at the Mary 40-yard line after a shanked punt. And now the Dragons return the favor after a fumbled snap from center, giving the Marauders the ball at the 40-yard line. They keep it on the ground. Gross running near side, picks up 3. 2nd and 7. Bagnell throws. Nobody picked up Tyler Steffen. He'll walk into the end zone on the near side. Touchdown, Mary.
I don't think the Dragons had 10, 11 players out there, Steve. I think Askelson came off. He got hit in the head kind of in the last play. I was going to make a comment about that. I'm not sure if anybody went in. If they did, they're in the wrong spot because that was too easy, wide open. That play developed very quickly. They got up the line of scrimmage, and they literally caught the Dragons by surprise, and I think they caught him understaffed as well.
If he's not the best wide receiver in the NSIC, he certainly has the numbers to be in the conversation. There wasn't a Dragon within 10 yards of Tyler Steffen, so they capitalized quickly on the Dragon mistake. 2 plays, 40 yards, a 37-yard touchdown hookup between Bagnell and Steffen.
Yeah.
So Ryan, who's had punting issues, will come on for the point after try. This one's on its way, and it's good. Let's take a timeout. We have 12 minutes and 1 tick remaining in the first half for Moorhead. It's Mary 14, the Dragons, nothing.
If you have travel plans, travel in style with Shuck Bus Service. Good for large groups and small groups alike. For businesses, churches, or schools, local or long-distance trips. Shuck Bus Service provides deluxe 47-passenger motor coaches and 28-passenger mini coaches equipped with TV, VCR, and telephone. Professional service and reasonable rates. Shuck Bus Service in Moorhead. Call for more information, 233-1402, or toll free 888-321-1402. Travel in style with Shuck Bus Service.
All right, we documented the fact that after Mary shanked their punt, the Dragons went 3 plays minus 5 or 6 yards. Mary, on the other hand, goes 2 plays 40 yards, and they're up 14-0.
Yeah, mark of a good team. You get an opportunity, you cash in right away. You find Stephen. It reminded me when I was a kid, and they'd say, hey, don't hang around that Stephen kid or something. Well, that's true. It's like everybody in the neighborhood would say, stay away from that young man. Steve, there wasn't anybody within about 20 yards of him that time. Man, was he wide open. And to his credit, he as a playmaker, I'm not so sure he needed that big a cushion. But that's been a great recipe, though, for the Marauders. Go to that young man. And Steve, I think that's 11 touchdowns in 3 games, something like that. Gosh, 4, 3, and 2. So 9, I guess. But, man, he is a whale of a receiver. And certainly rates are the very best in the league. But credit to Marauders. Tough turn of events for the Dragons. Mary up 14-0.
You're acting as if I'm good at math. Those numbers that you just reeled off, it just sounds like something pretty good. Here's Ryan. Slow approach to the football. He'll get into this one. High end over end kick. Alex Leach grabs it. And unlike the pros who take it out 9 yards deep in the end zone, I think Leach takes the more conservative route, which is the correct one, and that's downing the football.
Yeah, he kind of looked like that Craig on the Cardinals last night, going right back to the wall, literally. He caught that, and that ball carried him literally to the back of the end zone. There was certainly no need to run it out from there. It was a good catch, a fine kick, but that thing sailed deep, and Leach really with no options at that point.
So the Dragons will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line, traveling into this, 15, maybe a gusty 20-mile-per-hour breeze. Didn't stop Mary on their first possession. And now they lead at 14-0, and now they try to set up a screen to Ibani Lucius West. He had a couple blockers out in front, including Josh Love, the Morris, Minnesota product, and Casey Grottam on the near side. But Cook, under duress, overthrew it.
Yeah, now comes kind of the hard part of the game. It's tough enough anyway, but now you're down 14-0, and to keep your head up literally and figuratively, and keep believing, and have the patience and willingness to spend some time. That's not easy.
2nd and 10. Leach and Hendon cut out to the near side. Cook looking that way. Goes through his progressions and now throws. He has Clark Williams open. Did he catch the football? No. He was wide open on the Marauder sideline at the 40-yard line. He forgot to catch the football. He might have heard Stephen Jones running him down.
The only company he had, it was close to the Mary bench, right? But as you mentioned, wide open. Part of that thing developed because it appeared for a moment as if Cook might have to take off on the run. I think a couple of the guys peeled back that time to support him from the Mary secondary. But as you mentioned, wide open, very frustrating play for the Dragons.
Yeah, that's 20 freebies they just gave away.
Life's tough enough in this league on a cold day, playing a good team when you're behind. And man, to let something like that slip away, you're going to remember that for a while.
Ibani in the backfield, 3rd and 10. Cook, they'll set up the screen again. Ibani doesn't get a block. Casey Grottam tried to block. One of the Marauders, and now Ibani fumbles the football. This is going to be Mary football at the Dragons' 16-yard line. Nothing's going right now.
No, and just a case that you hear so often about trying to make something happen, fighting for a yard or two, unwilling to go down, trying to bring a second effort, and it blows up in your face.
It might have been Marcus Broom. It could have been Stephen Jones again, who stripped the football, and it was gobbled up by one of the guys wearing white. And now the Dragons are pretty much facing a critical junction in this football game. They trail 14-0. Early stages, second quarter, they turn it over. Marauders have it at the 16.
Yeah, that play kind of broke down when they didn't get that block outside, right? And, they got just a little bit, and he was able to fight off the block, get to Lucius West too quick, and then ultimately the turnover.
Bagnell near hash, looking, throwing, complete. He's going to hit Brady Martin for the 19th time this season. Zach Askelson's going to run him out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So he'll pick up 6 yards, bring up 2nd and 4. 2 receivers, near side for Mary. And now Bagnell fumbles the football, and I think the Dragons get it right back. Corey Capra is in a wrestling match underneath, and the Dragons do get it back. I'm starting to get convinced. We talked about the snowstorm on the East Coast. That's got to be miserable playing conditions. It's 50 degrees here in Fargo-Moorhead. The wind's blowing. My hands are a little crusty. I think Bagnell just dropped the football.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Steve, I think you factor in the wind. And it looks lovely out with the sun out. And it's a pretty nice backdrop for college football. But on the field, it's a little cold. And then when you've been hit a few times, you don't know, too, maybe, and he's taken a few whacks, obviously. So a big turnaround that time for the Dragons.
And a big bullet dodge. Still trailing 14-0. Cook back, throws complete. Leach near side. Turns around, spins in front of Maurice Burrow to the 22-yard line. That looks like it's good enough for a first down.
Yeah, I think you don't want to think what may have happened had Mary been able that time to convert it. Had they gone up 21-0, that would have been a very, very tall mountain for the Dragons to climb.
Leach had just one catch last week in Sioux Falls for 6 yards. He got 12, will not play. 1st and 10, near hash, 22-yard line. 11:05 remaining here in the first half. The Dragons trailing 14-0 and just came up with a huge turnover. Here's Brandon Shell. He'll lower his left shoulder, barrel to the 25-yard line, and pick up 2 yards. One of the last Marauders to get up is outside linebacker Mike Ingmanson, a junior out of Bismarck.
Yeah, it's been a while now, Steve, and I come ill-prepared for this, but since the Dragons, have been able to score a touchdown, right? Last week, 35-3 at Augustana.
Yeah.
And they did most of their offensive work, I believe, in the first half, the week prior at Bemidji, right? And so kind of an offensive drought here for the Dragons. It's gone back at least 3 games.
Yeah, the last touchdown they scored was in the first half 2 weeks ago against Bemidji. Shell keeps it. Again, he's going to barrel forward. He'll lean near the 30-yard line and pick up almost 5.
Yeah, Shell, of course, kind of came in as, I suspect, the Dragons' 3rd or 4th back at the beginning of the year. And Brandon Thompson, the senior from Oakland, California, was projected to be certainly a prime player in the Dragons' running game and suffered a knee injury early in the year that will need surgery later, scope surgery, and it's really all but silenced him for the year. It's a tough blow for Thompson and the Dragons.
All right, baby steps. The first step to take here is get 2+ yards. 3rd and 2 from the 29-yard line. Empty backfield. Phil Herkenhoff, tight end, on the left side. Going to block for Kevin Cook. And he's going to use his wheels to gain the edge, and he's going to get enough yards to the 35 before tearing out of bounds in the Marauder sideline. Well-designed play. Good tackle on the left side made by Zane Zabel, springing Cook for the first down.
Yeah.
Read the sports section every day to get the very latest scores and stories from high school to the pros, and, of course, the Dragons. With the Forum, you'll know your sports. Pick up a copy at your favorite newsstand or call 241-5445. Subscribe today to get the Forum of Fargo-Moorhead delivered tomorrow. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for the Dragons. Shell, straight at the middle, trying to run behind Josh Love, who missed his block, picked up 1.
Dragons still concerned about trying to get that running game going, very determined, because they know that's an important component today. If they can't run the ball at all against the Marauders, it's going to be very, very difficult. As we mentioned, they're doing it without Thompson, Shell, and Lucius Abani-West are going to get the most of the carries today.
Wayne State continues to lead Upper Iowa, but it's a struggle down at Wayne, Nebraska at 17-14. Wildcats, 8.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Concordia continues to lead Crookston. Now it's 31-13, third quarter. Cook steps into the pocket, throws incomplete. He had Phil Herkenhoff, who also heard footsteps. Justin English was bearing down on him.
Yeah, I think it was a catchable ball. I know Herky would like that one back over the middle, and I think kind of threw a well-thrown ball, and it just bounced off his fingertips and falls incomplete. I can't say harmlessly incomplete, because that certainly would have given the Dragons, I think, another first down.
His fingers are cold, and then if you factor in if he catches it, he's probably going to get belted by English in the middle of the field. So the ball drifted awry. 3rd and 9, empty backfield. 3 receivers split to the near side. Cook, with some time, steps up and now gets buried. Nearly got decapitated by Marcus Broom at the line of scrimmage, and the Dragons are now to give it up.
Yeah, Broom right there, right about sweep. Cook right off the field that time. He ducked under at the last possible second to minimize the damage, but he's down about at 35-yard line, and the Dragons now face a 4th down and 10 situation. 8:04 left. Marauders leading the Dragons 14-0 NSC football from Alex Nemzek Field.
Kramer fumbled the last punt. Good snap, good catch. I don't know about the kick. A high wobbler. Gross makes a fair catch at the 39-yard line. A 26-yard punt, no return, but at least Kramer got that one off.
Yeah, and again, now the Dragon defense called upon once again. Last time, of course, came up with the key turnover. The mistake by the Marauders blunted that drive, so now Mary takes over in good shape about the 39-yard line. Lots of time left, Steve. They can be patient. They can run it. They can throw it. Again, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they have a lot of options, and it all starts with a very efficient quarterback.
Who's working out of the shotgun on the far hash of the field. 1st and 10 Marauders, 39-yard line. Bagnell throws near side, and he's going to hit L.B. Pope, who makes just his 7th catch of the season. He'll spin forward for an adventurous 3-yard pickup to the center of the field. Big Ben Condom ran him down from behind.
Yeah, Bagnell now 15 out of 23 in there for 177 yards and both touchdowns.
Bagnell this time, Josh Murray bouncing it near side, gets away from Mike Mann, gets takedown from Zach Askelson. Near side of the field, near the numbers at the 46-yard line, he'll pick up 4. You know why I like Ben Condon? The last thing the coaches say when we're getting off the bus, make sure all your trash is picked up, all the food is put away. On the bus rides home, all the food gets put away by Ben Condon. Bagnell throwing on the far sideline. Did Brady Martin catch it? Yes, he did, and he stayed in bounds. He also picked up 11 yards on a first down.
Yeah, and General Ben also has a way of bringing a lot of food aboard. I don't know. He doesn't make it. I trust him. It's some homemade stuff, cookies and things that I think he gets from his family, but it's a treat for all of us.
Here's Gross running outside, gets away from a tackle. Jake Letting, Jeff Schutte escort him out of bounds. We have a Dragon down who's getting up late. It might be Ben Condon. No, it's not. We also have a flag on the field.
Yeah, any gross play probably should have a flag. We haven't had any here for a while, Stephen. So far in this football game, we've had 7 penalties accepted. And we're going to have a decision to make on another one right now. And as you mentioned, the Dragon down on the field. So the clock stops with 6:50 left. 14-0. Mary with the lead and the win.
And the football moving the wrong way. This is a personal foul against the University of Mary. Now, I don't know if it had anything to do with the Dragon that's on the far side of the field, but he was holding that spot that you don't want to get hit at.
Oh, he got hit at the 41-yard line again. Now I know. Now I know where you're at. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just say it. You got hit at the 41. The looks like a 6th penalty already for the Marauders. And now that's not going to sit well with Coach Myron Schultz. He's kind of old-fashioned. He doesn't like that stuff. He's not afraid to throw the ball and open up the offense a little bit. But he's kind of a fundamental guy, been there a long time. 13th year, I believe, as the head coach. And he's a native there. He played there. And after a trip out to Montana State and a couple other coaching stops, he came back, led us to some very good times. But, Stephen, I think they're working on a 3-year losing streak, and that doesn't sit well with the University of Mary. Not like them. This is a program also that spawned the coaching career of Dale Lennon, right, who went from Mary to the University of North Dakota, had great success there with the Fighting Sioux, and then off to Southern Illinois University.
Tons of success at the NAIA level,
right.
Runs into the playoffs. But now it's the world of Division II, and when they entered the NSIC, there was no Augustana, St. Cloud, Duluth, Minnesota State, Mankato. All right, it's 1st and 20 for the University of Mary from their own 47-yard line. They're going to keep it on the ground, right side. Travis Davidson gets his arms wrapped around Evan Gross's legs, couldn't take him down. But a couple of his friends helped out, and he might have even lost a yard back to the 45.
Yeah, kind of a good news, bad news thing here. The good news, Alex Pearson's back, joined the Dragons, sitting on the sidelines, but he's not playing anymore. His equipment's off. We mentioned he got rattled on the tackle. That time, Jake Letty for the Dragons.
I believe that's his 3rd tackle of the afternoon. It brings up a 2nd and 22. 6 minutes remaining, first half. It's been all Mary. They lead it 14-0. They face a 2nd and 22 from their own 45, far hash of the field. Dragons have 5 on the line of scrimmage. Bagnell, again, it's Gross. He'll pick up a couple just to the 47. Mary now in no hurry like they were earlier.
No.
So it'll bring up a 3rd and long for the University of Mary. 5.5 minutes remaining, second quarter. Another critical junction for this Dragon defense. See if they can come up with a stop. Fans on the near sideline, on the bleachers, getting vocal. Bagnell facing some pressure, steps up, throws. Ball is tipped, incomplete. Turning around at the very last second was Sam Callahan for the Dragons. He turned around. It was fortunate because he tipped the football. When he turned around, I don't think he knew where the football was. But fortunate because Brian Sandy was down the middle of the field, would have had a first down and a lot more. So the Dragon defense comes up with a huge stop. It's 4th and 20 for the University of Mary. Kendall Hendon standing back at his own 10-yard line. Ryan has had issues today. He'll get this one off. A gorgeous, high, spiraling kick. Did that football touch Kendall Hendon? No. Hendon tried to make a fair catch at the 6-yard line, and then at the very last moment, he backed away.
Yeah, so the Dragons, it'll come out to the 20. The Dragons will take over there, Steve, with 4:58 left in the second quarter. I mentioned Alex Pearson rejoined the Dragons more in a consultant's role from now on. He's got his shoulder pads off. He's done for the day. So the Dragons now a little bit thin at receiver, where I mentioned earlier, they're already playing shorthanded with the running back situation. And, of course, the Dragons just don't have a lot of depth, so injuries certainly very, very troublesome.
And now the Dragons will go 5 wide, 3 on the far side, 2 on the near side. 1st and 10, 20-yard line, trying to get some offense going today. They only have 61 yards of total offense here in the football game. Here's a low throw to Brandon Thompson, incomplete. Again, Cook under duress, but he looked like he had enough time to pitch that to Thompson at the 25.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a combination again today defensively for the Marauders of pretty effective and relentless pass rush, coupling that with good coverage in their secondary. They play cover 2 most of the day, and when they do that, Kevin Cook said that doesn't really leave very big windows. And he said that's very tough for him to find open spaces into that kind of defense.
Brandon Shell has entered the game as a running back. 2nd and 10. Cook looking. Incomplete. Kendall Hendon got hit early. That's what the Dragon sideline is saying, and they're right. He got whacked upside the head early by Deshaun Benton. I think he was trying to whack the ball, not his head. Either way, incomplete in the center of the field.
Yeah, and there were a couple of Marauders right there, almost as if he was double-teamed on that. So maybe fortunate it wasn't picked off, but, of course, the Dragons imploring that, hey, he was hit a little bit early, but for once we don't get a flag when we're looking for one.
3rd and 10 for MSU Moorhead. Coming into today, they had converted just 30% in the first 3 quarters last week. They were 0 for 10. Cook, again under duress, throws. Nobody in the neighborhood where that pass landed at the 30-yard line. Another stalled drive and another Wes Kramer kick upcoming.
Yeah, last week I think Kevin was under 50% passing. That was kind of a rarity because he's been very effective this year. Right now his numbers drop again, just 8 of 18 so far for the Dragons in the air for 54 yards. In fact, Stephen, the Dragons have only rushed for 7 yards, so the offensive numbers not very impressive. 61 total yards.
Gross back deep. Kramer accepts the snap, and he'll get off a high, short kick that gets grabbed by the wind. Evan Gross grabs it, 50-yard line, 30-yard punt, no return. Mary will take over, leading 14-0, 4 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the first half. For ghoulishly scary deals, stop in at the MSU Moorhead bookstore. The Halloween Dead Men Wear Dragons sale is still alive on Monday, October 31st. Save 30% on selected sweatshirts and imprinted gifts, and save an additional 30% on already marked down clearance clothing. The bookstore is located right on campus in McLean Hall and is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. 1st and 10, Mary, 50-yard line, far hash, 2 receivers split to the near side. Bagnell, short drop, throw, complete. He hits Brian Sandy, who tiptoes out of bounds in front of Travis Davidson at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, nothing fancy about that, just kind of a down and out, found a little opening
Makes it about second and just short one, about the 41.
And they're going to keep it on the ground. It's Josh Murray. He'll spurge forward, pick up 6 yards. Tyler Brody's going to make the tackle at the 35-yard line. Again, you want to celebrate the good that this Dragon team has done, especially this maligned defense. Schutte, Brody, 1-2. Once again, the exacta in the NSIC. Schutte 7th in the NCAA Division II in tackles this season. Tyler Brody, 15th. Here's Stephan again, wide open, far side of the field, and he'll get taken out of bounds at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal set up for the Marauders.
And there's another tackle for Mr. Brody. I don't think he's going to enjoy this one very much, though. He was beaten a little bit on that down and out route. Nice connection by the time. And, man, the Marauders on the Dragon doorstep again, Steve.
Yeah, and they're going to keep it on the ground. It's Evan Gross running near side, gets away from one, gets away from 2 Dragons, leaning towards the end zone. He does not get in. I think Dave Galler does make the stop just inside the 2-yard line.
Yeah, and they're, as they say, imposing their will right now. They're beating the Dragons on the line of scrimmage as well.
Bagnell under center. Again, Gross. Again, this time tripped up. Mike Mann got him first. He lowered his head and stopped them at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, I think emotionally, certainly they may wear down a little bit, but they do physically as well. You can take this kind of pounding only so long before it starts to make an impact. And again, we mentioned they just don't have enough depth to rotate to keep people fresh. And right now, tough afternoon for the Dragon defense.
3rd and goal for the Marauders, near hash, 1-yard line. Bagnell wants to put it up, looking for Stephan again, incomplete. He threw it over his shoulder out of the outstretched arms of Travis Davidson, and now Myron Schultz has a little decision to make on 4th and goal from inside the 2.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me. I thought they could, bring it inside maybe a couple times and score easy. They probably still can, but along out that time, I don't think Davidson got turned around, but fortunately the ball went off his hands, incomplete.
4th and goal for the Marauders from inside the 2-yard line. Bagnell again throws towards Stephan. This time he has it in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, University of Mary. For the 3rd time this afternoon, Bagnell hooks up with Stephan.
Yeah, and again, I think kind of the cardinal sin by the Dragon defensive back that time is that he did not look around at the last second. And it was kind of like, okay, you stopped us once, we're coming right back with it. That's confidence. They call the same play. We're going to get you this time. And it's a very tough pass to defend, a good, big, active receiver. And that time the ball's right on the money.
Well, you said he had 9 the last 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, the hat trick here today. Ryan on for another point after try. Ryan drills it through. We take a break with 3:08 remaining in the first half for Moorhead. It's the University of Mary 21, the Dragons, nothing.
Know your sports. Read the Forum Sports section every day to get the very latest scores and stories about your favorite local teams and players. Complete coverage of both high school and college athletics. From basketball to football to hockey and volleyball, the Forum follows the story. The Forum is also the area's leader in professional sports from around the nation and the world. With the Forum, you'll know your sports. Pick up a copy at newsstands today or subscribe by calling 241-5445. That's 241-5445. And get the Forum conveniently delivered right to your door.
In other words, we're cooking, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Larry Scott.
Well, certainly what appeared to be a promising afternoon has kind of turned on a rather sour note so far for the Dragons. The Marauders, much like they did last year in Bismarck, took control of that football game in the first half, and it appeared the Dragons could make a defensive stop there. The Marauders, on 4th down, found their big wide receiver against Stephan, padded this lead, Steve, 21-0, and that's a deflating touchdown, that one right now. It's a hard enough afternoon anyway, fighting uphill and not being able to generate a lot offensively, but you're asking your defense really to do too much.
Dragon women's assistant basketball coach Allison Swenson will join us up here at halftime. Right after Paulie Leintz, our producer-engineer in the Eagle 106.9 studios, will give you a national sports and a local weather update. Ryan, the approach. High end-over-end kick. This one's going to be returnable. Alex Leach from the goal line across the 10. 15-20, still on his feet, center of the field. Now he's going to get grabbed and chucked down. Grant Singer, special teamer out of Turtle Lake, North Dakota, will make the booming hit just shy of the 25-yard line. Come to the Dragon volleyball, football games. Dragon volleyball team won last night against Winona. They're at home this afternoon. All this fall, get qualified for the Valley Imports Vacation Giveaway. One lucky fan this season will win an all-expenses-paid vacation for two to one of 5 destinations. That includes Vegas, New York City, Orlando, Jamaica, or an Alaskan cruise. The vacation is worth at least $5,000. Sponsored by Valley Imports, Travel Incorporated. Come out, sign up. Try not to get drilled like Kevin Cook just did after keeping the football, and he'll lose a couple yards back to the 22.
Yeah, nothing complicated there. Marcus Broom simply chased him out of the huddle. He saw the fake. He didn't buy into that and was able to haul him down from behind. Now the Dragons 2nd and 13. 2:33, the clock running. University of Mary had 21-0.
I'd pull my cold hand out of my right pocket and hold up 4 fingers, but again, I'm too cold. That's how many rushing yards the Dragons have here in the first half. 2nd and 13. Out of the gun, Cook pitches it. Ebani Lucius West gathers it and gets to about the 25. He'll pick up 5, setting up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and I think the clock is stopped. I think the Marauders probably call a timeout, Steve. It would appear that they would have, indeed, 2 left, 2:12. They're thinking they can get this football back. Dragons facing a 3rd down situation. Unless they convert, the Dragons will be kicking. They'll also be kicking into something of a wind, right? And I'm not sure that the Marauders being greedy, but with good reason, they're thinking they have a chance to get a 4th touchdown. You can't fault them for that line of reasoning. And the Dragons certainly. This becomes another, in essence, big play in the 3rd down.
I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, I'd like your input, and I know you Duluth 3rd in the region, St. Cloud 5th. They kicked off this afternoon. We're still looking for that score. Does this maybe suggest that this league is down a little bit because it's been so top-heavy? St. Cloud, Augustana, Minnesota Duluth, all not only making deep runs last year, but Minnesota Duluth winning the national championship.
Yeah, I think the consensus is that Minnesota Duluth is not as good a football team, and that's understandable. Gosh, they lost some great players. In fact, their offensive backfield was wiped out. They had some terrific running backs, so they're not quite as good. They're still an awfully good football team, but we'll dial in on some of the others. I see Nebraska Kearney, a longtime rival of the Dragons. They were beaten, so they fell to 7-1. They dropped a little bit.
Here's 3rd and 9 for the Dragons following the timeout. Far hash of the field. Mary shows blitz, puts 5 on the line. Dragons keep the football on the ground. It's Kevin Cook. He'll spin across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And once again, Myron Schultz is going to take a timeout. So will we. 2:05 remaining in the first half. Mary up 21-0.
At home, a child takes her first steps. In a lab, a research team discovers a cure. Moments like these change our lives forever. At Sanford Health, today's pioneers are working on those moments, not afraid to look beyond the horizon, opening new clinics worldwide, curing juvenile diabetes. You can count on us during your life's moments, too. It's the pioneer spirit, alive and well at the new Sanford Health.
All right, it's 4th down for the Dragons. Wes Kramer will come in to kick this thing away. We've got a score. This one might surprise you. How about start of the 3rd quarter in St. Cloud? It's St. Cloud State 21, Minnesota Duluth nothing.
I think that validates our thinking that Minnesota Duluth not quite the football team they once were.
Good snap again from Pluta. Here comes the pressure, and Kramer gets off a high end-over-end kick. Again, a fair catch was made by Evan Gross. He fumbled the football, and the snapper, Bryson Pluta, making an impact. He recovers the fumble at the 35-yard line.
Boy, that's hustle, isn't it, of Bryson Pluta. He was right there involved with it, Steve. I thought they might have crowded the return man a little bit, but I also thought he was a little careless. He really wasn't in position to make that fair catch. He had to kind of reach out for it. It didn't work, and Pluta was right there. So, just another lesson. Keep playing hard. Man, you're down by 3 scores and ready apparently to give the ball back to Murray, but the Dragons keep on keeping on, and finally there's a reward for Pluta for hustle and the Dragons to get the ball back.
I'm Bryson Pluta. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, 6'3", 280. Love to eat, great guy. My parents come to every game. I might play professional football next year. I wear 2 different uniform numbers, but I keep on playing like you mentioned. Here's a pitch and catch. Kendall Hendon near sideline, 25-yard line, 10 yards, close to a first down as he gets pushed out of bounds by Andrew Richter.
Yeah, and not only did the Dragons stop Mary from getting the ball back and maybe a potential score. Hey, we forgot almost to mention this. The Dragons have a scoring opportunity. Suddenly they're at the 25 for the Marauders. There's time, 1:52 left.
And the Dragons have their full allotment of timeouts. Ebani Lucius West in the backfield, 1st and 10. It wasn't up for the first down. Cook looking. Across the middle, he finds his big tight end, Sean Marlowe. He took a step in front of Mike Wagner. He gets it at the 14-yard line, 11 yards, and another first down.
Yeah, I got down about the 15 kind of drag pattern right across, comes scraping over to the home boundary, and a nice throw that time by Cook. Stayed in there, found a little extra time, plenty of zip on it, good catch by Marlowe.
Kendall Hendon, Alex Leach split to the far side. Bart Williams on the near side along with his tight end Marlowe. Cook, quick throw, incomplete, looking for Ebani Lucius West. He forgot to grab it. Grant Singer, the linebacker from Turtle Lake, North Dakota, also buried him for good measure.
Yeah. Kendall Hendon gets a lot of the raves because he is the Dragons' principal receiver, but this used to be tight end U, and so it's good to see that the tight end is not forgotten. Marlowe, that time, Dragons, of course, had a history of great tight ends, Jeff Tash and Ron Hubbard, Greg Veldman, Scott Simpson, Mike Bednarik, a bunch of them, and a big part of their offense back then still is. Good to see the Dragons run their tight ends.
Marlowe's not a bad one. He's lined up on the left side. Cook keeping it, and he'll go nowhere. He slipped across the 15. Tackle will get credited to Marcus Broom, his third. Clock still winding, 1:11 remaining. First half, the Dragons will face a 3rd and 9 from the Marauder 14-yard line.
Yeah, certainly have been a lot of big plays so far in the game, big calls. This would rank with the biggest of them, I think, for the Dragons to this point. Imperative they cash in here on the 3rd down.
Maybe imperative they get a touchdown. Here's a low snap. Cook throws towards the end zone. Kendall Hendon has it. On the far side, touchdown, MSU Moorhead. He might have pushed off.
Oh, he might have. What a broken play. That was a bad snap. It come bouncing back to Cook. He picked it up. Didn't look like he had it completely in his hand the way he wanted. Just kind of pitched it out there, I think, to save the sack. And then, as you mentioned, if nothing else, brushed the defensive back, right? And got open, and the Dragons score. Wow, that's a quick turn of events. 50 seconds left, Dragons on the board.
Kendall Hendon does not have a bigger fan than yours truly, and I'm going to talk to him after that game, his 8th touchdown catch of the season. There was a lot of with those wide receivers. They don't call it interference. They call it separation. Here's Kramer on for the point after try. On its way, and he hooked it. Doesn't matter. The Dragons are on the board as we take a timeout. 50 ticks left in the first half. It's now Mary 21, the Dragons 6.
Papa John's Pizza helps satisfy any hunger, but especially the college student hunger. Wow. In fact, Papa John's has a student special. Buy a large one-topping pizza for $8.99. Get a second large one-topping pizza for just $4. Just show your student ID when you get the pizzas. This special good at all locations in Fargo-Moorhead, including the Papa John's at 8th and Main in Moorhead, where you can call for that student special at 236-7272. That's 236-PAPA. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Stephen, maybe not much of a scoring drive, more like kind of a quick trip around the block, but it works for the Dragons. They just needed 35 yards following that turnover. Took 5 plays, used only 1 minute and 13 seconds, and the Dragons break the shutout, finally get that touchdown they've been looking for 3 weeks. More importantly, close this thing to 21-6 as we approach the halftime break, and indeed, there is life left in this football game.
Yeah, their first touchdown in nearly 9 quarters, shut out in the second half of Bemidji, kept out of the end zone last week, although they did get a Wes Kramer field goal. He also did miss the extra point. It's 21-6 as his approach, and this line driver will wobble into the hands of Gross. He fumbles it again. He picks it up. He's running towards the right side. He stiff-arms Jeff Schutte out of the way, and now bulldogs his way to the 40-yard line. And the Mary fans on the far sideline, shivering as they may be, applaud that effort.
Yeah, tough act. He didn't want to go down, did he, man? Took a couple hits, and he delivered a couple blows himself.
You know, when he holds on to the football, he's not a bad runner.
Yeah, Evan Gross, just 5'9", 175-pound, out of Napoleon, North Dakota. Boy, his namesake would be proud of him. That was a great run that time. Tough kid. Tough North Dakota kid. Like seeing that. So the Marauders now will have it to 41 seconds left, matching that. Let's see what they do, Stephen.
They only have one timeout left. They used a couple defensive stops to save the clock, and what they did was they gave the Dragons the football back after Gross fumbled it. The punt. Here's a throw downfield. He's got a wide open man. It's Brady Martin, and he'll get thrown out of bounds on the near sideline at the 32-yard line. That's 28 yards, and the Marauders are cooking with 34 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, why not keep attacking? That's their mode, and certainly they're right in doing that. 34 seconds left. They can find some space. Also, if they get in a field goal situation, they got the wind, whatever's left of it, at their back.
At danger time, the Dragons trying to take some momentum into the locker room if they can just get there. Bagnell has all day, throws, has another man wide open. Again, it's Brady Martin, again in front of Zach Askelson, and he'll tiptoe out of bounds at the 18-yard line, 28 seconds left.
Yeah, showing him respect, a lot of respect. Maybe too much respect, right? That cushion's just a little too big. Trust me, the Bagnell will find that.
Yeah, and again, no pressure from the Dragon front four. Josh Murray, the running back, to the right side. Three Marauders split to the right side from the near hash. Bagnell pumping. Now running across the 15, and before Zach Askelson hits him, he goes out of bounds at the 12, and he'll pick up 7 yards, bring up 2nd and 3. 21 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, Dave Galler that time got some penetration, Askelson, as you said, but probably more of a coverage situation that time. Pretty good defensive coverage that time, and options were limited. That hasn't happened that many times when they flood that many receivers out there, but Dragons did a great job.
I got a bright idea for the Dragon defense. Keep an eye on 88. He has 3 touchdowns so far here in the first half. 2nd and a long 3. Bagnell looking Steffen's way. He's not going to get the chance. He fumbles the football after Max Pryor drilled him. Do the Dragons have it again? They do. 3rd turnover the first half for the University of Mary as Pryor delivered the big hit.
Yeah, and I think it was Steve Parks, that ended up on that football at the bottom. That's what it looked like to us, but I don't think the Dragons really care in particular who gets the headlines in that, but there are a lot of Dragons involved. A big defensive stop. Emotionally, that is so big, Steve, to go into the halftime 21-6. It appeared they were on the verge again, and that would have really hurt if had to been able to score late in this second period.
With Paulie Lines doing the National Sports Update, as the Dragons are just going to take a knee, and I'm going to interview Allison Swenson. We're not going to have a lot of time to do the numbers. Mary, 374 yards of total offense to the Dragons, 104. 3.5-to-1 ratio, and yet the Dragons are still in this football game.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of 2-0. I'm thinking turnovers late in the second quarter. 2 against Mary, none against the Dragons. That's really the difference, Steve. That allows the Dragons to keep fighting. They'll live to fight another half. They're going in right now, down 21-6, but this ball game is not over.
I got a good idea. Go warm up Larry Scott. He does. He's running out of here. 21-6 as we get out of here. Mary leads it at the half. After this commercial timeout, Paulie Lines will give you a national sports update, a local weather, see if it's going to get any warmer. And then on the other side of that, I'll talk with Dragon assistant women's basketball coach Allison Swenson. 21-6, Mary leads the Dragons at the half.
So there's this place called Qdoba Mexican Grill. Their food is good. It's great. And Qdoba offers a lot more because their menu is big. Massive. Their menu is like the Moby Dick of Mexican restaurant menus. In fact, they've got a whole section of signature burritos you can't find anywhere else. Like the Ancho Chili Barbecue Burrito or the 3-Cheese Queso Burrito. And what about their Craft 2 menu with nachos and grilled quesadillas? There's just more to explore at Qdoba. That's why I'm there every day. I'm there right now. I'm waving at you from across the room. We meet again, old friend. Qdoba Mexican Grill. More to explore.
Know your sports. Read the Forum Sports section every day to get the very latest scores and stories about your favorite local teams and players. Complete coverage of both high school and college athletics. From basketball to football to hockey and volleyball, the Forum follows the story. The Forum is also the area's leader in professional sports from around the nation and the world. With the Forum, you'll know your sports. Pick up a copy at newsstands today or subscribe by calling 241-5445. That's 241-5445. And get the Forum conveniently delivered right to your door.
Making energy-efficient improvements to your home has never been easier. Moorhead Public Service is offering Bright Energy Solutions, which provides cash incentives to customers who install energy-efficient equipment. Incentives are available on a variety of Energy Star appliances, as well as energy-efficient HVAC equipment. Contact Moorhead Public Service today by calling 299-5400 or visit Bright Energy Solutions online at brightenergysolutions.com. That's brightenergysolutions.com.
Courtyard by Marriott Moorhead surrounds travelers with all the conveniences that make business and pleasure travel easy. Our 126-room hotel and conference center was beautifully renovated in 2011 and features 2 indoor pools, restaurant, lounge, full-service Starbucks, and 24-hour exercise facility. Located just minutes from Minnesota State University Moorhead, Courtyard by Marriott is your home away from home when traveling to Moorhead. Reserve your room today at Marriott.com/FARCY or by phone by calling 218-284-5023.
Good afternoon. It is 2:32 right now here at the Eagle 106.9. At halftime, the University of Mary is leading the MSUM Dragons in a score of 21-6. We'll get back to Steve DeStatio coming up in just a little bit. Checking out some other sports highlights. Jack Connolly had a goal, 2 assists to help Minnesota Duluth beat Bemidji 6-2, a Western Collegiate Hockey Association game on Friday. Connolly was one of 10 players to score points for the Bulldogs, who picked up their first WCHA win of the season. Bemidji State scored the first 2 goals of the game. Jordan George and Brad Hunt. Hunt's goal gave the Beavers a 2-0 lead at 7:26 of the first period. Bemidji's 2 goals came just after 5 shots in the first period. St. Cloud State coach Bob Motzko revealed Friday that their number 1 goaltender, Mike Lee, didn't make the trip to Grand Forks because of an injury and may be out for a lengthy period of time. A few hours later, the Huskies revealed that they did have a perfectly good backup, freshman Ryan Frugger, making his second career start after 44 shots. He stopped 44 shots, 39 of them in the second period, to lead St. Cloud State to a 4-0 win over UND in front of almost 12,000 fans at the Ingolstadt Arena. The Sioux dropped to 2-4-1 and 0-3 in the Western Collegiate Hockey Association, and that the Hockey Association play for the first time since 1989. They couldn't convert 7 power play chances, including 2 5-minute majors and 5 on 3 full 2 minutes. And if you're following if you missed the big game last night, push to the brink, St. Louis Cardinals saved themselves a frantic rush to reach the postseason on the final day. A nifty pair of comebacks in the playoffs, 2 desperate rallies in Game 6. Turns out the Cardinals were merely gearing up for their gigantic celebration. The Cardinals won a remarkable World Series they weren't even supposed to reach, beating the Texas Rangers 6-2 last night in Game 7 with another key hit by hometown star David Freese and 6 gutty innings from Chris Carpenter. A day after an epic Game 6 that saw them win twice or score twice within possibly being eliminated in the 11th inning. What a game that was, and what a series that was. 2:34 right now. Take a look at that forecast for the rest of this afternoon. We're going to be seeing mostly cloudy skies for the rest of this afternoon. Should be reaching a high pretty much right where we're at right now at about 50 degrees. Tonight dropping to a low right around 30 degrees. Might see a chance of a shower for your Sunday, and we're going to be seeing a high right around 48 degrees. And as we head on into your back to work Monday, we're going to be seeing partly cloudy skies, maybe a morning shower, reaching a high right around 56. And outlook for your Tuesday, we're going to see a high right around 50 degrees under partly sunny skies. Don't forget later on today, NDSU is going to be taking on Northern Iowa at the Fargo Dome. That's set to kick off at 3:07, so about a half hour from right now. We're going to get back to Steve DeStatio, and once again, the Dragons behind the University of Mary heading on into the third quarter, a score of 21-6. 6, and we'll get back to Steve DeStacio coming up right after this here on Eagle 106.9.
For over 20 years, Richards Transportation has served the Fargo-Moorhead area with reliable, comfortable, and timely charter services. They can charter transportation for up to 55 people and will happily escort you to your destination anywhere in the U.S. Their professional, courteous drivers do their absolute best to make sure your ride is a comfortable one with the help from comfortable, oversized buses, each equipped with video and TV. To find out how you can get on the bus, call Richards Transportation at 233-3404.
So there's this place called Qdoba Mexican Grill. Their food is good. It's great.
And Qdoba offers a lot more because their menu is big.
Massive.
Their menu is like the Moby Dick of Mexican restaurant menus. In fact, they've got a whole section of signature burritos you can't find anywhere else.
Like the Ancho Chili Barbecue Burrito or the 3-Cheese Queso Burrito.
And what about their Craft 2 menu with nachos and grilled quesadillas?
There's just more to explore at Qdoba. That's why I'm there every day.
I'm there right now.
I'm waving at you from across the room.
We meet again, old friend.
Qdoba Mexican Grill.
More to explore.
Show your dragon spirit at the Minnesota State University Moorhead Bookstore. For your favorite dragon apparel, from sweatshirts to t-shirts to other dragon sportswear. The bookstore also has a wide selection of school, office, and art supplies, plus computer software, hardware, and accessories. The Minnesota State University Moorhead Bookstore is open to the public and can be found at the McLean Hall right on campus. Go Dragons!
Know your sports. Read the Forum Sports section every day to get the very latest scores and stories about your favorite local teams and players. Complete coverage of both high school and college athletics. From basketball to football to hockey and volleyball, the Forum follows the story. The Forum is also the area's leader in professional sports from around the nation and the world. With the Forum, you'll know your sports. Pick up a copy at newsstands today or subscribe by calling 241-5445. That's 241-5445. And get the Forum conveniently delivered right to your door.
Oh, where'd the sunshine go? It's gotten chilly outside and in our booth. 21-6, the University of Mary leads MSU Moorhead here at the half. Mary, 368 yards of total offense to the Dragons, 102. The Dragon defense has come up with a couple of big stops, gotten three turnovers from the University of Mary, capitalizing on one. The only touchdown for the Dragons, Kevin Cook hit Kendall Hendon from 19 yards out after one of those turnovers. That came with just 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Mary leads the Dragons by the score of 21-6. Next Saturday, the Dragons will play their final home football game against Northern State. Scotty and I have the pregame report at 12:40. Kickoff, 1 o'clock. 2 weeks from today, we close up shop. It's gone that quickly. In St. Cloud, 1 o'clock kickoff. The Dragon football season will end. 3 nights after that, on November the 15th, both the Dragon men's basketball team and women's basketball team will open up the 2011-2012 season. We'll have Chad Walthall on next week at halftime. Maybe it's a little chillier then. Maybe it'll snow for him, as we're talking with Dragon women's assistant coach Allison Swenson. Thanks for coming up here as you enter your 4th year as assistant coach.
Well, thanks for having me, and we're excited to get the season started. We have an exhibition game tomorrow at South Dakota State. The season seems to have gone fast already. But
yeah, and you guys are already, a couple weeks into practice. October 15th is when you're allowed to start. I'm assuming you started on October 15th.
Right, we started in the morning on a Saturday, and we've kind of been going. We've had a couple days off here in the last couple weeks, but other than that, we've been trying to put everything in and get all the freshmen acclimated to as much competition as we can before we, play the Jackrabbits tomorrow.
All right. Brittany Macklin, Haley Tomford, Casey Charette back from injury. Maybe you can update us on that. Marissa Yernadich, Zabel, Angie Jetvig, Megan Stracy, all returning for the Dragons. Talk about some of those incoming freshmen who will play for the Dragons this season.
Yeah, to start out with Casey, she's back. She's coming off the ACL, and we had a scrimmage last weekend at University of Sioux Falls, and she played pretty well. She still got her shot, and we still would like her to play better defense, but we'll start with just having her on the floor. Britt and Angie, they're our 2 seniors, and Angie's looked heavily upon to lead us on the court, on and off the court, and We'll see here early on, how her leadership skills are. I think she can still work on being more vocal and, taking the lead on that. Britt, she battles on defense, and you always have to get on her to play hard on both ends of the floor, and it's it's an ongoing battle. But she's really stepped it up, and Emily Palmer, the redshirt freshman, she's battled a little injury here at the start, so Britt's had to play backup point guard, and hopefully we can get Palmer in there again, playing backup, and then Britt can step in and move over to an off guard, and that'll help. And then Haley Tomford, she just has to continue to mature. She's our point guard, and she has to lead us, and she really has to take control of the total offense and get them all on the same page. And she'll continue to have to grow into that role. And let's see here. Morgan Zabel, she's going to play both on the perimeter and the post. And, Z, that's what we call her. She's a very smart basketball player. She talks the game. And, she's a great teammate for all those guys to have out there. I think she's a natural leader. And, people, really look up to her. So let's see here. Who am I? Did I talk about Angie? Yeah, leadership role.
Angie Jetvick, who is that? Tell us who Angie Jetvick is. We might have forgot. She's only the reigning MSU Moorhead Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, she's a special basketball player, and it's crazy to think that she's already a senior. But she can score in many, many ways, and I'll always say she's a little awkward on the basketball floor, but she finds a way to get it done. And then Megan Stracy, she played really well in our scrimmage, and I think she's, taken some steps forward. Last year she was a little, kind of got lost, sometimes just in, in games just because she got, a little anxious, I guess. And just as long as she finishes shots and, she can be a force.
A force, Megan Stracy, come out and for the next 3 seasons, watch her come down with a rebound because she comes down like a soccer goaltender with both elbows flying at either side. The only other player that I've ever seen do that with such consistency is sitting to my right. My face is not near one of those elbows. It's Dragon assistant women's coach Allison Swenson. All right, some of those incoming freshmen, some of them I know were highly sought after. Let's talk about them.
Okay. We have one perimeter freshman. That's Amber Huntington. She was the South Dakota Player of the Year for Class A, and she has a very, very good offensive skill set. Defense is going to have to come. The speed of the game it's a little too fast for her right now, but I think once she gets some experience, it'll come to her. She's not going to be the fastest person on the floor or anything like that, but I think she'll be able to get the job done when she starts understanding everything. Taylor Kraft, right out of Central Cass, 20 minutes down the interstate. She's basketball savvy. She knows the right play to make, and she can shoot the three. Now, having her play on the block, she's still going to have to continue to work on that. She's not used to battling and getting pushed around like she has in practice. And then Taylor Shepard out of Lincoln, Nebraska, it's the same thing. Good athlete. She can run up and down the floor very well. She just has to get stronger. She just needs to put some weight on, some muscle on. And then Caitlin Hapke, she's another post player, play for us. She's got a tremendous upside, and it's just a matter of having her understand the game and, what we're trying to do on the defensive end and knowing plays. So the game's a little fast for her right now, but, that's just she's gonna have to keep working on that. A lot of studying. With me.
We're joined by Dragon Women's assistant basketball coach Allison Swenson. Their season for real starts 2 weeks and 3 nights from now here at home against Valley City State University. Last year, 7th, which is something that's a little unusual, maybe not having a home playoff game in such a rugged league. You were finishing your career when this league expanded, and then just a couple years later, Minnesota State Mankato wins the national championship. How have you seen this league evolve?
Well, I'll say that it's the best league in the country. It's amazing, the talent that we have. this year I feel more than the past couple of years. Our league is, it's fairly wide open. I think for the past couple of years we've, been able to pick the number one team, and that's probably pretty solid. But now it's, our poll came out, and you saw how many different teams got, first place votes. There was 4 of them, us included, and.
Did you vote for you?
We can't vote. We can't vote for our team.
I just wanted to know. I'm guessing. Do I get one guess as to who voted the Dragons number 1? It had to be your buddy down the street in St. Paul. I'm sure it was Fessler.
I have no comment. I don't know. But it's just people put Wayne at top of the poll, but
sure.
They lost a lot, so we'll see. But the league has definitely changed since I was here. It's turned into a more athletic league. Back when I played, there was a lot more bruisers. I don't think there's that many of us anymore.
No, that's what you're trying to teach these youngsters. How have the Dragon youngsters melded in with these veterans, such as an Angie Jedvik, such as a Britt Macklin, looking towards their leadership?
I think, it's always a work in progress, and I think in practice it's been very good. And you think it's good, and then you get in the games, and you may think different. So we'll see. I think we'll learn a lot tomorrow about, ourselves, and, just it's nice to get on the floor, and, it's an exhibition, but yeah, you're going there to win. So we'll see how everybody gets prepared, how everybody handles the situation.
Tomorrow against South Dakota State, a pretty doggone good Division I team. Their last year, I think it was their last year of Division II, they won the national championship, so they've had success at both levels. You go to them, obviously, I think, for a variety of reasons. How much do you go in there to win in an exhibition game?
Well, we treat it just like a game. We scouted them, and you scout to win the game, and that's how we approach it. We approach it just like a regular game, and we always want to win. So there's no doubt about that.
All right, final question: is this team better than last year's team, and why?
We will be, and it's just because last year we had a lot of freshmen that had to step up and play big roles. Haley Tomper being one of them. She was put in the point guard spot, and she struggled a bit, but now she's a year older and she has to mature. And you look at our starting lineup, and you have Marissa Yernadich is a junior, Haley is a sophomore, and then Angie in there as a senior, and then you got Megan and Z that are going to play big roles. So we're all a year older. We've learned that much more. We know that much more about the game. And, once you've played a year for those 5, it'll all come together.
You asked me before this interview, am I going to ask you hard questions? Were those questions hard? Have I ever asked you a hard question? You've been my halftime guest for 4 years.
Yeah.
Have I ever asked you a hard question?
No, I don't think so, but you never know. It could come out of left field.
I think you're giving me too much credit. Allison Swenson, thank you very much for coming up here. You'll notice these headphones do keep your ears warm. Allison Swenson, our assistant women's basketball coach for MSU Moorhead. Exhibition game tomorrow. They start for real here at home, 6 o'clock on Tuesday, November the 15th, against Valley City State University. Let's take a 30-second timeout. When we come back, we're going to have the second half. 21-6, Mary leads it over the Dragons.
You're busy getting in shape for summer, knocking the rust off, so to speak. And while you're taking care of yourself, don't forget your car. Ignoring those dents and scratches can allow it to just rust away. Dahl Certified Auto Body is like a gym for your car. It is an extension of yourself. Let Dahl's make it look as good as you. Dahl's Certified Auto Body, 1715 27th Street South in Moorhead's Industrial Park.
Good job, fair price. Dahl's Certified Auto Body.
Early third quarter, we got a couple interesting scores to give you. Early third quarter, St. Cloud State 28, Minnesota Duluth nothing. If Minnesota Duluth continues to struggle here down the stretch, they're not even going to get a shot to defend their national title in the playoffs.
No, that's kind of caught us broadside, that one, Stephen. 28-0. St. Cloud anticipated, certainly, really a great showdown there, but I'm not sure what happened to the Minnesota Duluth offense.
And how about this one? Wayne State reeled off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. We were talking maybe national playoffs for the first time for Wayne State. But 2 weeks ago, they lost in St. Paul 27-24. Last week at Mankato, they lost 45-23. You're thinking season's over, right? Well, it might be. They're losing at home today to Upper Iowa, 35-24, early in the third quarter.
Wacky league this year, isn't it? Yeah, last year you really knew that St. Cloud was probably the team in St. Cloud State, so close, maybe MSU Mankato. This year is really hard to kind of get your finger on the pulse of the league, where the power might be. And I think the real honesty is that there's a lot of really good teams. I'm not sure there's a great team in the NSIC this year.
All right, let's start the second half. Here's Ryan, the approach and the kick. He'll kick with the wind. That's going to show as Alex Leach, instead of running into the goalpost like Brandon Thompson did earlier, the Dragons will start from their own 20-yard line, absolutely getting dominated statistically in the first half. 368 yards for Mary, 102 for the Dragons.
Yeah, those numbers don't lie, and I know the Rice family that's factored into our statistic program for a while certainly is right on top of it as usual, but the numbers, as you said, 368, 102. Man, when you triple up somebody. But I think the big thing, Steve, that I'm going to take out of that is the things that happened late in the second quarter that gave the Dragons really some life. And are they on life support? We're going to find out. But they're operating going into the win. They got to do something in the third period.
They're going to start through the air, or at least try. Here's a throw. Kendall Hendon, complete near side, a long throw. Completed to Hendon. He tiptoed out of bounds in front of Maurice Burrow, 11 yards and a first down.
Nice pass, nice route that time by Kendall Hendon. And just a good way to start this third period.
Operating from left to right, wind whip it a little bit harder. It was 16 miles per hour when we started. Here's Brandon Shell getting his first carry of the second half, and he'll lean forward to the 35-yard line and pick up 4 rugged yards. Josh Love providing a little pulverizing blow into this wind. It looks like it's whipping 20-25. It's gotten a lot colder since kickoff.
Well, the wind hasn't gone down, yes, and I can tell you, it's not quite ice station Nemzek, but it's pretty frosty up here, and we're inside, so I imagine
Barely.
what it's like outside.
Yeah, I don't know who took these windows out, those pesky guys. Could have been me, but I won't admit to it. 2nd and 6, Cook back, 3-step drop, in a lot of trouble. Somehow Houdini's his way out of it and then throws it into the Marauder bench.
Well, I hope you're thoroughly enjoying this open air look. And I would have brought the Windex. I would have done my all. We could have cleaned her up and nice and warm, but no. Father Nature here has got to be looking outside on this frosty day. But, no, we ought not to complain because this is college football, and we've really kind of been spoiled as broadcasters. And a football program has followed with some marvelous weather all year.
At least you're dressed for it. You got the hoodie, you got the jacket, not like that Larson character. He used to wear shorts. Marlowe, what a terrific catch. Sean Marlowe grabbed it at his knees as Cook threw it behind him on the near sideline, then had the presence of mind to turn around, not get his head taken off by Colin Matheson, and then trot forward for the first down to the 45.
Yeah, very apt description. Great catch at a stretch up for it. Didn't look like a tight end there, did he? Looked like one of those slender stallions who play wide receiver. Nice play that time by Marlowe.
An important 10 yards for the first down. 1st and 10, 45-yard line. Cook gives it to Shell. He'll go nowhere. Might have gotten a yard to the 46. Xavier McGowan, senior outside linebacker out of Houston, Texas, got a hold of him. So did Marcus Broom. We heard a lot about that guy in the first half.
Very good defender. And so far for the Dragons, maybe baby steps, but a couple of first downs. And certainly the ball now at the 46-yard line, as you mentioned. 21-6, the Marauders with the lead, but the Dragons with the football.
Yeah, get another score. Make this thing interesting. See if you can put Mary on its heels. 2nd and 9. Cook back to pass. Steps up into the pocket. He's got a lot of running room. He does throw it. He's got Kendall Hendon wide open on the near sideline. And he'll go out of bounds in front of Broom at the 35-yard line. He'll pick up 19 yards and a first down.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy. You're thinking, if you're watching this game, Mary has certainly dominated the football game. The Dragons may be a couple plays away from getting within a touchdown, If they could finish this drive off with a score, who knows what could happen.
You know why? They're warm. They were just inside for 20 minutes. Cook looking. Incomplete. He had Bark Williams wide open on the near sideline at the 28.
Now, Bark might fill a little bit larger role. We mentioned that Alex Pearson was hurt in the first half. He will not come back and talk to him. He has a head injury of sorts, and obviously they need to be cautious with him. So he will not be rejoining his teammates on the field. He's out here on the sidelines with them, but that may increase the role of Brock Williams second half.
Always hate to hear about the head injuries, especially with the student athletes. 2nd and 10, Cook play action. Looking downfield for Alex Leach, incomplete. Maurice Burrow was all over him at the 10-yard line. Great coverage.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. That was just splendid coverage, man. And this is a tough game nowadays, this passing game. There's really a lot of pressure on defensive backs. It is really a thankless job at times. So when they perform well, we need to note that, and that was absolutely remarkable coverage.
3rd and 10 for the Dragons. They'll need to get to the Mary 25 to keep this drive alive with 12 and a half minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Mary only rushes 3. Cook, now he's going to run for it. And he's going to get a first down and more as he'll tiptoe out of bounds at the 21-yard line. 14 yards and a first down.
I mentioned that he will call a lot of the running plays, maybe all of them today, and the coaches call a formation. He has that liberty. They have that confidence in him. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he called, but trust me, it worked. He rambled out there, and he got a couple extra yards, needed all of them at a first down for the Dragons.
He stepped up into the pocket, and his offensive line provided him a gaping hole that he ran through. And I hear some movement on the offensive line, and this is going to cost the Dragons 5.
Well, that'll teach you. Just give them a little praise, right? And seconds later, we're going to get the penalty. But they have played well early on in this drive, and we've mentioned this several times in broadcasts, a very, very young offensive line because of injuries and some other problems. This is a team that's largely inexperienced, and to play in this league against teams like Mary and something, that's really tough for a young offensive line, but they're hanging in there. The big thing is that they're getting better every day.
I'm having a tough day, and I'll tell you why after this play. 1st and 15, 26-yard line. Cook back. Long throw, far side of the field, complete. Kendall Hendon, he'll go out of bounds at the 14-yard line. He'll pick up 12 of the 15. You just gave me stuff for praising the offensive line. They get a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Earlier, I tell you how much I'm enjoying broadcasting with you. You tell me you're having a long day.
What?
Tough to be me today.
Yes. What a sweet pass that time for Cook. Man, left-handed all the way to about the 13-yard line. Threw it almost across the length of the field. They're going from east to west. Great throw that time. Kendall Henley got open a little bit. Dragons facing now. 2nd down and 2. This drive very much alive.
Cook, play action. Lobs one into the end zone. Bart Williams, touchdown, MSU Moorhead. But here's a flag. This, I think, is going to go on Bark. He shoved Xavier McGowan out of the way.
Yeah, I think so. And the sad thing is Mr. Cook, I don't think got to see it. He got dumped. I don't think he unloaded it and then got caved in. You're right, Steve.
Yeah, Bark can't believe it, but everybody else in the building does.
Yeah, I think you'd file that under just a little too obvious, right? And that official was right there.
Yeah. Xavier McGowan was right there. Arthur Pittman was right there. That's a bad pass by Kevin Cook, though. He just lobbed that up for grabs, and Barr could have just whacked that one down, maybe caught it without interfering with Pittman.
And you can see the Dragons aren't complaining, just a shrug by the coaches. They know right away, okay, me bad, our fault, let's go reload, do it again.
2nd and 17, 11:36 remaining third quarter, 21-6. Mary leads. The Dragons are on the move. Kevin back to pass, steps up, throws across the middle. Incomplete. Alex Leach, the intended receiver. Again, Cook got dumped violently. This time maybe late as well.
Yeah, this time I think the Dragons are going to profit from this. 2 Marauders there. We're going to get a personal foul. Late hit, roughing the passer, however you want to detail it. Big break for the Dragons.
You go tell that to 6'1", 280-pound freshman Jurian Coleman out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He's the guilty party. This is going to be an automatic first down for the Dragons.
Yeah, gambling a little bit to Las Vegas native perhaps, and a first down for the Dragons. That is a big play, and I know that doesn't sit well on the other side with Coach Myron Schultz. The Dragons are pesky enough right now. You don't have to help them out. I'm sure that's what he's thinking.
So from the 14-yard line, it's 1st and 10, far hash. The Dragons doing what Mary did on their first possession of the football game, and that's move the ball into the wind. Down the field. Long count. Cook looking towards the end zone, lobbing it up. Jump ball. Kendall Hendon incomplete. Maurice Burrow with the coverage, and then he stuck his face in Kendall's to let him know who was better.
Nice play by Rose. At the last second, he glanced back over his shoulder when the ball was in the air, saw it, got his left hand up, I believe, and pried it loose. Nice play.
He made a nice play, but then why does he have to yabber afterwards? Maybe it bothers me more than you. 2nd and 10. Let's see what Maurice Burrow can do with Bark Williams on the far side. They're on a little one-on-one, short end of the field. 3 receivers split to the near side. Shell in the backfield. Cook accepts the snap, dances, throws, complete. Shell grabs it. Short pickup to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, receivers spread all over on both sides that time, and he dumped it eventually to Shell over the middle. That's all that he could find available. Small pickup, but it gets inside the 10-yard line. Looks at about a 3rd and 6.
Brandon Thompson exits, stage bench. Sean Marlowe into the football game. Marlowe hasn't had a touchdown since the Dragons played in Duluth a few weeks back. Bark Williams split wide to the near side. Leach in the slot. Shell in the backfield to block for Cook, who wants to put it up on 3rd and 6. He'll dump it to Shell, threw it behind him. Shell grabs it. Shell goes into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU Moorhead. Brandon Shell's first career touchdown, and the Dragons are back to within 9.
What a way to finish off the drive. A little swing pass to Shell. It was out in the flat. Gave a little hip fake, eluded a defender, rambled into the end zone, and the Dragons back in this football game, 21-12. And yes, maybe Mary's out playing the Dragons, but the Dragons have closed within 9, and now they'll have a decision on the extra point. It looks like they're going to kick, but a different kicker, Steve.
Yeah, it's Lazon Tahir. Wes Kramer has struggled both punting and he missed his PAT before, so Lazon Tahir with the try. On its way, and he hits an important extra point. Let's take a timeout. We have 10:37 left in the 3rd quarter. We've got a football game here on a chilly afternoon. It's Mary 21, the Dragons 13.
Papa John's Pizza helps satisfy any hunger, but especially the college student hunger. Wow. In fact, Papa John's has a student special. Buy a large one-topping pizza for $8.99. Get a second large one-topping pizza for just $4. Just show your student ID when you get the pizzas. This special good at all locations in Fargo-Moorhead, including the Papa John's at 8th and Main in Moorhead, where you can call for that student special at 236-7272. That's 236-PAPA. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Well, Stephen, are the Dragons alive? That's the question right now, and indeed they are. So the Dragons go 80 yards, 14 plays, takes 4 minutes, 23 seconds, and the Dragons pull within 8, 21-13. And just to embellish that drive a little bit, it was also against the wind, for whatever that means. But so critical, the Dragons playing with so much calmness right away to take that opening drive, go the length of the field. Now, it was only moments ago it was 21-0, and gosh, it appeared at one time, who knows, that could have been 28-0. Suddenly, a football game broke out.
Here's Lazon Tahir. Maybe Kramer's injured again. High kick that gets grabbed by the wind, and an over-the-shoulder catch made by Evan Gross at his own 30-yard line. He's running the length of the field. He ran 50-some-odd yards from this side of the field to that side of the field. Not only did he lose a yard, he lost some brain cells because Tyler Brody clocked him out of bounds.
All right, and now the Dragon defense. First time we've seen them now in the second half. This has to be an inspired thought right now after watching your offensive fells take over and go the length of the field. But certainly, Mary, very productive so far, as you mentioned, Steve, 368 total yards, did all that in just one half.
All right, 10:29 remaining, 3rd quarter, 21-13. Mary leads it. The Dragons have scored 13 unanswered. Bagnell, give. It's Josh Murray, and he's loose. Nearly gets to midfield, straight up the gut. Zach Askelson might have made a touchdown-saving tackle as Murray picks up 18 yards, make it 20 yards and a first down.
Yeah, just a quick opener, old-fashioned blast off guard, and, man, he saw an opening, and he's got a little quickness.
And here he goes again, off left tackle. Gains the edge, gets by Askelson, who just clipped him enough where he had to step out of bounds at the Dragon 44-yard line. He picked up 7 yards on first down.
Yeah, and I think that this turn of events lately at the end of the second quarter, kind of caught the attention of the Marauders, too.
Bagnell Throwing, incomplete.
Wow.
Travis Davidson was thinking end zone before he caught the ball at the 40-yard line.
The timing was perfect. He jumped that route, didn't he? And it just went off his hands. Oh, he's going to think about that. That first interception today was sweet. That would have been nothing compared to this thing. I think you're absolutely right, Stephen. I think that was a rocket right to the end zone. I don't think anybody had a chance to get to him that time.
No, he used to be a wide receiver.
Wow.
He does know what to do when he has the football. And if his hands weren't as cold as they might be, or either way, if he would have come up with that, we'd be talking about 2 points away from a tie. 3rd and 3. Maybe Mary escapes a bullet. Bagnell rolling to his right. He's going to run for it. Chased by Schutte. He ducked underneath of Schutte's left armpit. Got 4.5 yards and a first down. The Howard Johnson Inn is a proud supporter of Dragon Athletics. Every time you mention Dragon Athletics, 10% of the total bill will be donated to support Dragon Athletics. Book your room today by calling 232-8850, area code 701. The Howard Johnson Inn is located 301 3rd Avenue North in Fargo. Here's an illegal procedure call. Mary, trying to keep this hurry-up offense going, hurried up a little too quickly.
Yeah, they did, and they'll get a penalty there. First penalty of the second half. Saw a few of them in the first half, 6, I believe, for University of Mary. The ball moved back to just inside of the 45-yard line. The Dragons closed, 21-13 score, 9:54 left in the second period. Remember, this is a 21-0 jump start by the Marauders, and it appeared to be even worse, but the Dragons have scored the last 13.
I wanted to see Travis Davidson jump start towards the end zone. 1st and 15, far hash. Bagnell has all day, throws long, complete. He's got his tight end, Brian Sandy, tiptoed in front of Antonio Hardy Dundee, corralled it in at the 23-yard line, far sideline. He'll gobble up 20-some-odd yards and a first down.
Yeah, nice pass, too. Just kind of floated. It just drifted over the Dragons receiver. Not bad coverage. Really nice throw that time by Bagnell. You know, he's been a little quiet lately, the Mary quarterback. We spent a lot of time praising him early on in the football game. But they've stalled in the last couple drives.
Remember, he fumbled down deep in Dragon territory the last time they were in the red zone. His running back is Josh Murray. He's got the football, and he's loose across the 15, 10, 5, still on his feet, stretches towards the end zone. He's not going to make it as Dave Galler got just enough of his shoelace to drag him down at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for the Marauders.
Big hole that time. Murray was right there to take advantage of it, and he just rambled down inside the 5.
Murray has it again, jumps over a pair of Dragons, now a Marauder. Now he's going to go down at the half-inch line. Schutte made the tackle. Yeah. St. Cloud continues to lead over Minnesota Duluth 35-7 in the third quarter. Bagnell keeps it himself. He got hit initially by Andrew Pittman of the Dragons. He went down. We also have a flag down.
Yeah, a slumbering Marauder offense, I think, is woken up here in the second half. Certainly is so far a very, very impressive drive on their first possession. Remember, the Dragons, of course, went the length of field in their first.
This might be the shortest penalty in all of football history. The Marauders were at the 1.5-inch line. Max Pryor just lined up offside. So the penalty is going to be, I can't do the math, 3/4 of an inch.
The only thing is you can do it all day, and you'll never get there, though, will you? You'd never score.
So it's 2nd and goal. The line hurries up. Bagnell grabs it. He's going to give. Josh Murray, left side, walks into the end zone untouched. Finally, touchdown, Mary.
Yes, there's your response. That's what good football teams do. You try and hit them with a knockout punch. The Dragons came back, had them reeling on the ropes a little bit, and then the Marauders quickly, patiently come back with their own touchdown answer. Build that lead back up to 27-14 now, a 14-point spread and an extra point awaiting.
Here's Ryan on for a point after try. This would make it a 15-point spread. And the silence is deafening below us as the Dragons had shown some signs of life. Still in this football game as Ryan's kick is good. We'll take a timeout. 8.5 minutes left to play third quarter. It's now Mary 28, the Dragons 13.
Valley Imports, the import giant, is geared up to partner with MSUM Athletics as they open another exciting season of Dragon football. Buying a quality import doesn't have to be as tough as running through a 250-pound linebacker or as costly as a fumble on the goal line. At Valley Imports, they have the top names in quality pre-owned imports. Brands like Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Audi, and Mitsubishi at prices you can afford. So if you're ready for a new or pre-owned vehicle, stop by Valley Imports on 40th Street just north of West Acres, or see them online at valleyimports.net.
If you have travel plans, travel in style with Shuck Bus Service. Good for large groups and small groups alike. For businesses, churches, or schools, local or long-distance trips. Shuck Bus Service provides deluxe 47-passenger motor coaches and 28-passenger mini coaches equipped with TV, VCR, and telephone. Professional service and reasonable rates. Shuck Bus Service in Moorhead. Call for more information, 233-1402, or toll free 888-321-1402. Travel in style with Shuck Bus Service.
Ryan has the ball teed up once again. Kendall Hendon and Alex Leach are deep. Ryan with a three-step walk. Now the approach. Kick it towards Leach again. 7 yards deep in the end zone. He's going to take a knee. And the Dragons will take over, now trailing 28-13. 8.5 minutes remains here in the third quarter. We're right back at it next Saturday afternoon. We'll be right here at Alex Nemzek. Larry Scott and I will have the pregame report at 12:40. 1 o'clock tip-off. We finish the home portion of this schedule against Northern State next Saturday.
Yeah, and then 13 seniors will be honored, recognized anyway. In fact, we mentioned so many times, strange with a 2-win team to have that many seniors, but that's the reality. A lot of seniors on the team, a lot of good players.
Yeah, a lot of guys that we're going to miss.
Right.
Not just good football players, but guys that we get to hang around that are really, really good guys to hang around, including Kevin Cook, who nearly hit one of our cheerleaders standing at the track facing our way, which is not the football's way, and that almost nailed her in the back of the head. So Cook felt the heat. Deshaun Benton, the Modesto, California native, one of those heat appliers. Shell in the backfield alongside Kevin Cook. 2nd and 10. MSU Moorhead at their own 20-yard line. Kevin back again in a lot of trouble, being chased by Deshaun Benton. This side throws it to the other side track behind the Mary bench. And this will set up 3rd and 10. So after the Dragons showed a lot of signs of life, going 80 yards from the touchdown, nothing here so far.
Yeah, a lot of pressure that time by the Marauders, and beginning to clamp down a little bit defensively. I think they were a little annoyed to let the Dragons go the length of the field and score at the beginning of the second half. They had really kind of handled much of that first half. Their defense really set the tone, and then the Dragons came back, and I think it irritated them a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's as if their offense came on the field and said, you know what, enough is enough. We're going down the field, and you can't stop us. Here's Bark Williams catching the ball on the far sideline, and he got pushed hard out of bounds by Arthur Pittman. 7-yard pickup short of the first down.
Yeah. So that time the Marauder defense does their job. The Dragons come up a little bit empty, and they will be in a punting situation. It looks like Ozier will be in. We found out that Kramer was, in fact, injured. Wes Kramer, who's the Dragon punter and place kicker, had some problems, head injury of sorts on a kickoff, we think, and certainly we're not doctors. We don't even play it on TV and or radio, but he won't play anymore in the second half.
And now here's a shank job by Lazan to here. This will be down at the 42-yard line. This is a 15-yard kick, no return, and now our umpire, John Emmett, just got up, lost his lid. In fact, he's still shaken up to the point where Keith Weidrich's going to go see if he's okay.
Yeah, good for Keith. There's enough people getting hurt. You know it's a tough day when your kicker gets hurt, as happened to the Dragons. I mentioned the Dragons are thin anyway, and unfortunately a couple key players now sidelined. And now in an unrelated play, of course, the official gets knocked down. And these officials, though, aren't 20, 21 years old and fully, protected with helmets and stuff. So we laugh about it at times, but if sometimes it's a pretty violent game. And certainly we wish him well. And apparently he's fine. Will stay in.
Yeah, they don't have backups either. We talk about the Dragons being thin. These refs are thin. There are no other guys dressed in striped shirts today, or any day.
If they are, they're getting ready for Halloween. I know that.
So from the 42.5-yard line of the Dragons, Mary will take over. We have 7 minutes, 52 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. The white, blue, and orange-clad Mary Marauders lead the red, black, and white-clad Dragons 28-13 in this NSIC North Divisional tussle. Wolf, the tight end, going in motion in all different directions. Bagnell, give, Josh Murray, straight up the middle, now cuts it to the right side, gets taken down by Letting from behind after he picks up 14 yards. A first down, and the umpire, John Emmett, again gets decked.
It was almost like a stiff arm that time by Murray. That hole opened so quickly, I don't think anybody reacted. That play just exploded in front of everybody. Great run that time by Murders, and man, he's having a long day. I bet he can't wait to get out of here. I know where he went to. He's going to hang out with his buddy, Mr. Beers. I would, too.
Jerry Frosty Beers. First and 10, 28-yard line. Coming in motion, near side is Curtis Dara. Bagnell, give, Murray. Can't get through this hole. He's going to be put down by Mike Mann after initially being hit by Andrew Pittman. He's had a nice afternoon for the Dragons so far.
Yeah, he has. But this game is changing now a little bit, and it's kind of turning on the ability and the persistence of the running game for Mary. This second half, they've committed a little more intently to the running game. And, man, they're finding some holes, and they're doing some damage.
Second and 9, 28-yard line near hash. Two receivers split right side. Murray in the backfield to Bagnell's right. Bagnell throwing right down the middle. Catch made by Brian Sandy, his big tight end. He got bumped hard by Lamumba Ishmael, but he picks up a boatload of yards, a first down, and we've got a flag in the Mary backfield.
That's a long way from where that play ended up, man. That flag is sitting back at the 33, and everybody's huddled up at about the 5-yard line.
Because they're cold. This is a 15-yard penalty. From the end of the play. Yeah. So the pass and catch to Sandy is complete. Here's Tim Weber.
On the offense, number 27, unnecessary from the end of the run.
Wow. Okay. So they pitch and catch it for 23 yards, but then the 15-yard penalty for a personal foul on the running back, Josh Murray, after the play was over means not only does Mary not have first and goal from the 5, they've got to convert a 3rd and 2 from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, strange. Now you need the advanced math, I think, to sort this thing out. You lost me on that one.
And now we're going to have whistles, and now the referees are going to have a group hug at the 25-yard line. Remember to stay tuned for our post-game show. We'll have our highlight package and our Moorhead Public Service electrifying play of the game. Listen to more music in your afternoons with Broadway Bow, weekdays 2 to 7, right here on the Eagle 106.9. Get in all your music requests with Mike Harvey, weeknights 7 to midnight here on the Eagle. And tonight, after football, after supper time, it's the soundtrack to your Saturday nights with Saturday Night Super Gold right here on the Eagle 106.9. There is no advanced math. It's 3rd and 2, and if the Dragons have aspirations of winning this football game, they need to stop right now. Bagnell has Evan Gross in the backfield standing to his right. 3rd and 2 from the 20-yard line. The tight end Sandy in motion. It's give, Gross, left side. He's going to have a first down. He goes down. Schutte goes down. The football goes down, and another flag comes down.
And again, now this game is again becoming apart at the seams a little bit with the kind of a rash of penalties and mistakes at this point. Pretty free-flowing early in the third period. The Dragons went to length of field and scored. Mary came back and scored.
This is another personal foul, but this is against the Dragons. I didn't hear the number that Tim Weber said, but it was one of those clubs to the head, illegal clubbing.
Yeah.
Apparently you're not allowed to treat your opponent like a baby seal. So this will be 1st and goal for Mary from the Dragons' 7-yard line.
Anytime you hear after the run or after the play, if somebody is, if not tardy, it's a transgression and it's not going good. It's not going your way, that's for sure.
From the Latin of the clubbage. Gross in the backfield. 1st and goal. Bagnell throws. It's Steffen again. Touchdown, Mary.
Okay, instead of the fade this time, he kind of came on the slant, right? And I think they're so weary of guarding him out there, defending against him, maybe give him an extra step. Maybe it thought they would come right back to that fade. Not this time. There he goes. What is this guy? Touchdown machine. At 4 now? I think, okay, but that's 11 touchdown passes in 3 games. 11 receptions.
12.
Yeah. Quarterbacks can't throw that many, let alone one receiver getting that many. My Lord.
Ryan on for the extra point. That was a rifle, too. Out of the hold of English. On its way through. Mary's taking control. We take a timeout. 6:10 remaining third quarter. It's Mary 35, the Dragons 13.
So there's this place called Qdoba Mexican Grill. Their food is good. It's great.
And Qdoba offers a lot more because their menu is big.
Massive.
Their menu is like the Moby Dick of Mexican restaurant menus. In fact, they've got a whole section of signature burritos you can't find anywhere else.
Like the Ancho Chili Barbecue Burrito or the 3-Cheese Queso Burrito.
And what about their Craft 2 menu with nachos and grilled quesadillas?
There's just more to explore at Qdoba. That's why I'm there every day.
I'm there right now.
I'm waving at you from across the room.
We meet again, old friend.
Qdoba Mexican Grill.
More to explore.
So let's hit the not-so-way-back machine. Like 4 minutes and 27 seconds and a train ride ago. Kevin Cook hit Brandon Shell from 10 yards out. Lazan to here, guest kicker, comes in. That capped off a 14-play, 80-yard drive, and with 10.5 left in this quarter, it was 21-13, and it wasn't so chilly outside.
Yeah, seemed like ages ago now, doesn't it? Just a moment ago we were talking about how the Dragons had closed within an 8. Good time seemed to be back, but good teams find ways to respond, and certainly Mary found the right formula. It's one way to silence the crowd a little bit, and more importantly, one way to deflate the Dragons. Come back quickly, score a pair of touchdowns, and take back the night, take back the day, leading 35-13, and the Marauders now will kick off.
It'll be Ryan again. He's had a field day kicking off with this wind behind him. The flag pretty stout. Both end zones. There's a high end-over-ender. Leach again. And 9 yards deep. He'll take a knee. We always jog your memory. I give you trivia questions from time to time. I know if I jog your memory about this event that happened to be 20 years ago this weekend, we talked about that big snowstorm on the East Coast. Now you're starting to nod your head. Take it away.
Well, it was happening late in the 1991 season. The Dragons in a hot pursuit of another championship, but they had a date on Halloween night, right, with those mighty Bulldogs in Duluth. Couldn't get out of town. It was the October blizzard. People might remember that. The game was canceled, and I'll tell you more about it later.
Here's Cook. Keeping it himself. Running laterally. Here's a flag. He goes down. And now flags. He goes down. The post. Keep with your story.
Yeah, and so that game was postponed. The Dragons had called Coach Malosky Duluth. We talked about a makeup date. They put it on hold for a while. We thought part of the reason, because the Dragons the next week would play Southwest State, who was unbeaten, ranked 2 in the country, would come here. And I think Duluth was pretty confident that the Dragons' chance for championship would end with a loss to Southwest. But what happened... the Dragons, of course, in one of the most memorable games, come roaring back, went the length of the field from right to left. I can see now with the snow falling, the wind howling, the Dragons' last hope to win a conference, to get in the playoffs. A guy named Bobby Jones, we talk about many times, touchdown pass to Eric Jensen, the final play of the game. It was one memorable drive, one memorable season, and it was the last time, really, that the Dragons perhaps ruled the NSIC. 20 years ago, the 9th and last conference championship for Coach Ross Fortune.
Yeah, and the only one since then was Ralph Michelli's in 1995. It was a hold against the Dragons accepted by the Marauders. Now here's a throw. Marlowe, incomplete. He tipped the ball out of his hands, and it landed in the hands of Justin English. Or check that. Was it Oilo? 6, Richter, defensive back, Bismarck.
Yeah, man.
He's out of bounds. That was almost intercepted.
that game taught us all to believe that things can be done, that there is one last drive left in each and every one of us. But this is a little tougher task right now for the Dragons. Indeed, if it were that simple, 35-13, the Dragons need 3 scores, going against a very inspired and efficient defense.
2nd and 20, Shell in the backfield. He'll get the call. He'll cut it up inside the numbers. He'll pick up 3. Now, you just described the scene, the blizzard on late October 1991, and then the very next week, the Dragons playing Southwest, wind howling, snow falling. I'm sure it was freezing outside. Doesn't it make you feel that being up in this booth with these windows open, doesn't it make you feel a little warmer?
Somehow it seemed to me that day seemed pretty toasty when it was all done. Yes, it did. But I remember it stretched out so long, it got dark out, and the weather really changed quite dramatically by the end of the day.
Here's 3rd and 17. Throw, complete. It's Alex Leach. He'll get back the original line of scrimmage and a couple more. In fact, he'll pick up 10 to the 23-yard line, but once again, the Dragons are going to have to kick.
Yes, and the Marauders kind of got in a little lockdown mode now in the second half on defense. Suddenly things are beginning to get a lot more difficult for the Dragons to move the football. The Dragons are forced to punt again, and as you mentioned, into the wind, and with your backup punter. That's not really the best situation.
No, Lazante here ripped off a memorable 17-yard punt the last time, and now we're going to have to wait because another flag comes down. So we'll take it a peek at the Forum of Fargo-Moorhead NSIC out-of-town scoreboard. It's a final from St. Paul. They're done at Seafoam Stadium. Concordia beat Minnesota Crookston 38-20. Minnesota Crookston won their first ball game of the season all the way back when they were complaining about how hot it was outside. They haven't won a conference game. They're 0-8. And what a game in Wayne, Nebraska. Here's Tahir with the kick, end-over-end job. This one takes a skip at the 45, takes a right-hand turn, and will be down at the 47-yard line. A 29-yard punt with no return. How about this one? 11:27 left to go in Wayne. It's now Upper Iowa 41, Wayne State 38.
Yeah, was it that long ago when Wayne shut out Duluth? Was it 7-0?
7-0.
Yeah, yeah.
In the rain.
And the Peacocks, getting 41 more points than the Bulldogs could. That doesn't register with me. I don't know.
Now, back on September the 17th, Wayne at home beat Duluth 7-0. They got dominated in that game, a turnover fest. Their only touchdown, a block kick for a touch. They were riding high, 5 in a row. Now they've lost 2 in a row. Might lose today to an Upper Iowa squad that hasn't won in a while. 1st and 10, Mary, Dragon 47-yard line. Give, right side, Josh Murray. Being chased by Schutte, runs right by Lumumba Ishmael, dodges around Zach Askelson, and he's gone. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. What a run by Murray as Mary increases their lead.
Wow. Well, I tell you, if Bagnell hogged the spotlight in that first half, you can put those bright lights now on Murray. He stepped to center stage here, Steve, in this ball game, and suddenly this Mary running game, man, oh man, has exploded in the second half.
Murray got around 4 different Dragons. Schutte, the NSIC's leading tackler, probably should have got him at the 30, 35-yard line. Lumumba Ishmael, one of our favorites, our resident Rip Van Winkle, probably should have had him at the 20-yard line. Askelson didn't have a prayer as he pirouetted right around him. Ryan, another point after, is good. We take a break. 4:09 left in the third quarter. Marauders rolling 42-13.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the guy that gets to oversee Herbert and Gerbert's. Here's what I know about catering. Say you have a party or a meeting and suddenly a big platter of really awesome sandwiches show up. Well, I think your party just got more festive and your meeting just got more productive. If there's great soup to go along with those sandwiches and it all shows up on time and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, you can't go wrong with that, right? We're Herbert and Gerbert's, subs worth discovering, and catering with character. Thanks for listening.
For locations in Fargo-Moorhead, call 478-SUBS.
All right, it's gone from bad to worse.
Yeah, and to the point where it's really hard to call it even a drive. It's a touchdown for sure. One play, a 48-yard run that time by Murray. If you wonder how long it took him, just 12 seconds to get that done. 42-13 13. University of Mary now with 3 unanswered touchdowns. We mentioned the Dragons had closed the gap to 8, 21-13. Was it fool's gold? Perhaps, because Mary put their foot down from that point on, and now firmly in control of this football game. 4:09 left. We're only in the third period. 42-13 Marauders.
And you said I would detail what this trophy game was. This is the second of 2 trophy games that the Dragons are going to participate in. The first one was for the Battle Axe a couple of weeks ago against Bemidji. Today it was for the paddle, and right now the Marauders are taking that paddle, and they're using it violently against the Dragons' backsides.
Well, yeah, and I guess we've never even seen it. It's the 6th year that the paddle has been up for the for the offense for the winning team. It was started when the series began, and the Dragons, of course, have not won in the series in 5 previous meetings. They did lose in overtime in the second year out at Mary. They're having some strange games. They lost by 1 point. There's been some funny finishes in this, but the last couple of years, really, Mary has dominated. So they can probably keep that paddle locked up. I don't think the Dragon fans and players even want to take a glimpse at it now.
Here's Kevin Cook keeping it. He's got a lot of running room. Left side across 25-30. And all the way out to the 34-yard line, far side. He'll pick up 14 yards and a first down. The best chance to beat him was maybe that overtime game, maybe 2006, when they were not a member of the NSIC. Remember, Dustin Long threw a touchdown pass with 2 minutes left to play. They went for 2.
Right.
They couldn't make an extra point that year. Failed on that. Here's a near interception. He was throwing to Kendall Hendon, almost threw it to Maurice Burrow on the far side. Went for 2, didn't convert. 2 years later, like you mentioned, lost in overtime. Other than that, including today, it's been paddleage by Mary.
Yeah, they've dominated. There's no doubt. You mentioned the first games were close and strange, disappointing endings for the Dragons. But they went out there last year really with the hope and an expectation they could win the game, and they were flattened early. The Marauders jumped them right off the bat, 28-0. That game was over in the first half.
Here's 2nd and 10 from the far hash. 3 receivers near side. Kevin back to pass. Throwing, complete. It's Kendall Hendon, and he gets hit low, and he gets hit hard by Martell Bankhead, a senior defensive back out of Anchorage, Alaska. Hendon gets up, didn't gain anything, probably got bruised knees.
Yeah, and the Dragons, of course, have had difficulty, understandably, in running the football because of a largely inexperienced line, injuries to the offensive backfield. And so what you're finding yourself, you're throwing almost every down now. Well, the incomplete passes stop the clock. Just more times, too, that you're going to give the ball back to Mary, to be honest.
Yeah, and those Marauders have 544 yards of total offense. Here's 3rd and 10. Cook looking towards Kendall Hendon. He's double covered. And Kevin off to go out of bounds. Almost ran over his head coach, Steve Lockway. Innocent bystander on the sideline. Dragons got to kick it away.
Yeah, finally Zach Tarango hit somebody. That's not the good news. He's out. He was standing on the sidelines. He's the guy that the guy ran into. But you don't knock Mr. Tarango over, the Dragons starting offensive tackle, who they hope will be back next week. He's missed a bunch of games with a damaged knee. But the Dragons, again, now forced into a punting situation, Steve. And now they're really having difficulty sustaining any kind of drives.
Lazan to here will boot this one away. Here's a 28-yard punt to the 35-yard line. Antonio Hardy-Dundee was in the grill of Evan Gross. And, God, we had those games. Even the overtime game against Crookston, because they ran it on every down, did Crookston. The game just zipped right along, and games have been ending in the 2.5-hour time frame. We still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third on this chilly afternoon as we hit the 3:30 time here in Moorhead.
Yeah, 75 passes in this football game already, and that's and the Dragons have already thrown it 40 times.
Yeah, Cook 20 of 40 for 171 yards, a couple touchdowns, and the interception. Bagnall remains the quarterback for Mary. He'll give to Murray. Loose again. And watch out, he might be gone down the near sideline. He'll go 65 yards. Are you kidding me?
Wow, that's back-to-back touchdowns on an individual carry each time, right?
The other one was 48. This one was 65.
Yeah, 109 yards on 2 carries. Boy, you talk about instant offense. Wow.
And this is instant heartbreak. This is 21-13, and you know what? Dragons are just a play away from maybe tying this thing up. And now, before you know it, we still have 17 and a half minutes left. They're down by 35. Ryan on for the point after try. Justin English will hold it for him. Ryan so far today has been perfect, and he remains that way. We take a break. 2.5 minutes left, third quarter. It's a rout. Marauders 49, Dragons 13.
At home, a child takes her first steps. In a lab, a research team discovers a cure. Moments like these change our lives forever. At Sanford Health, today's pioneers are working on those moments, not afraid to look beyond the horizon, opening new clinics worldwide, curing juvenile diabetes. You can count on us during your life's moments, too. It's the pioneer spirit, alive and well at the new Sanford Health.
Paulie Lyons is our producer-engineer back in the, I would assume, warm Eagle 106.9 studios across the river in Fargo. Steve DeStatio, Larry Scott back with you from Alex Nemzek Stadium in Moorhead. And usually Larry Scott comes back from commercial break with the drive to the score, but it's been Murray left, Murray right, and the end result, Murray in the end zone.
Wow, yeah. We don't even have time to set up the play, and Mr. Murray is gone. I tell you, this is it's a real dreadful situation when you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run, and that's what's happening now. Look at this, 216-yard rushing on just 16 carries, 3 touchdowns. I guess it's the rush to see who's the first to score 5 touchdowns today between Stephan and Murray, right? They combined for 7 of them. Come on, guys. 49-13.
Here's Ryan again, kicking it. Kendall Hendon, 9 yards deep in the end zone. We've seen this before. Now here we see Wes Kramer walking in from the gym in civvies. He's done for the day.
Yeah, now here's the problem again, as I mentioned before, when you can't run the ball. So the Dragons come out throwing. Marauders able to shut them down instantly. You give the ball right back to, they may get the ball back 5 or 6 more times in this fourth period. I'm not kidding you. And the Dragons right now unable to stop. And suddenly this thing goes from a competitive game to something that gets out of hand pretty quick. But I don't know what you can do. You can't run the ball, so you just stop the clock on every play, throw on every down. The problem is, Murray knows it. They're just sitting there waiting. So it really makes it difficult for an offense to have to operate in this fashion.
It's just incredible that 8 minutes ago we had a football game. Mary scored 28 points in the last 10 minutes, in the last 8 minutes since the 10:37 mark. Cook remains the quarterback. Bryson Pluta has changed his uniform number from 91 to 19. I think it's official. Miles Montplaisir will take this year off as he's in street clothes on the sideline. Bryson Pluta officially the number 2 quarterback today.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect maybe to see him in there, but they had mentioned early in the year the Montplaisir, the All-Stater from Fargo Shanley High School, highly recruited young player, one of the highlights, headliners on the Dragon recruiting crew, and certainly expected to play a big role in the future. Obviously, he's not going to play this year. That's a wise decision.
Yeah, there was an illegal procedure on the kickoff, so the Dragons started at the 25. Shell just ran 5 yards. Now he gets it again on 2nd and 5, and he goes absolutely, positively nowhere except down to the ground. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Williston, North Dakota's John Oilo made the tackle for the 3-yard loss.
Oilo had a couple sacks last year for the Marauders in that 47-13 victory in Bismarck. And this game is kind of eerily unfolding about the similar manner, Steve.
Yeah. So here's 3rd and 8 for MSU Moorhead. They ran it a couple times, but at some point you're going to have to try to get a first down. Cook rolling to his left, looking downfield. Nobody's open. He'll throw the ball away. It's been that kind of afternoon for Cook.
Well, it stops the clock. I'm not so sure that's what anybody really wants at this point. Now, you can't even get a drive to last a minute, and so it's very frustrating. you're conserving the clock if that's what you would want, but it's just giving Mary more and more and more opportunities, and eventually, until they tire of scoring, honestly, they haven't even had to put together drives, and honestly, the last couple times scored that quickly.
Lazan to here on the kick it away. Ball bounces right at the 50-yard line, and it'll settle at the 45. This is a 30-yard punt with no return. The Marauders will take over. 48 seconds remaining, third quarter. They lead this thing 49-13.
That reminds me, I think, that reminds me of that movie, The Longest Day. Somehow that comes back into my mind right now when I think about this third quarter.
Are you picking on me again?
No, I'm talking about this third quarter. It seems like, I think I was still working here when this third quarter started. This has been a long ordeal. And we're only halfway through, not even halfway through the second half, and the second half, unfortunately, that belongs completely to the University of Marion.
Hey, good news for Dragon fans, and I know you have a comment on this. The backup quarterback is in, but he's pretty darn good. It's Josh Edwards. He's 55 of 89, but they're going to hand the ball off, and the Dragons do make a stop. Is it Gravely? Nope, Evan Gross straight ahead. He'll pick up 4. And the Marauders are going to have to snap the ball one more time.
Yeah, it must be kind of nice when your backup quarterback's been virtually flawless. He stepped in for 3 starts. He's a freshman. 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. Gee, precocious young man, getting the job done. And then, what is his reward? Sit down, buddy. Bagnell's back.
Yeah, 55 of 89. Again, I'm not good at math. That's something over 50%, something heavy over it. And he's going to almost wind down this third quarter clock. Give the ball to Evan Gross. He's going to run to the right side. He'll run underneath of Darren Dell, who makes the tackle. And finally, this miserable third quarter for the Dragons comes to an end. So we'll take a break. Fourth quarter upcoming. Dragons trail Mary 49-13.
Every time you choose Pepsi, you support the Pepsi Refresh Project. So this summer, choose the cola that's refreshing communities across America. Choose Pepsi. Go to refresheverything.com to find out how your choice makes a difference. Every Pepsi refreshes the world.
Dahl's Certified Auto Body wants to remind you that you have a right to choose where you get your car fixed. When you have an accident, there's one name you can trust for your auto body work. Dahl's Certified Auto Body has set the standards all others have followed in auto body work. No one does a good job at a fair price better than Dahl's Certified Auto Body, serving Fargo-Moorhead for over 27 years. Dahl's, 1 block west of Old 52 in Moorhead.
Good job, fair price. Dahl's Certified Auto Body.
All right, we start the fourth quarter. It's 49-13. Mary has a 3rd and 3 from the Dragon 48-yard line. Edwards, give Evan Gross straight ahead. Watch out, he's loose. Cuts it to the near sideline, 40, 30, 25, 20. Finally, he gets taken out of bounds by Tyler Brody. They're going to mark him down at the 16-yard line. He'll pick up 32 yards and a first down. Wayne has kicked the field goal. 5:13 left in that wild one from northeast Nebraska. Upper Iowa and Wayne are tied at 41. Concordia St. Paul has beaten Minnesota Crookston, sending the Golden Eagles to their 8th consecutive loss. Concordia 38, Minnesota Crookston 20. It's 1st and 10 from the Marauders. 16-yard line. Edwards, backup quarterback in, runs out of time, and he's going to get charged. They get a timeout. No, this will be a delay game against the University of Mary. Still looking for that. There it is. It's a final. Wow! St. Cloud State at home beats Minnesota Duluth 35-7. So the landscape of the regional rankings in the Region 3 Super Regionals will change. Duluth came in this week 3rd. St. Cloud came in 5th as Jeff Schutte is going to wrestle down running back Evan Gross. And St. Cloud's certainly looking to move up. If they can get to that number 4 spot or even higher, then they would host a first-round playoff game. Colorado State Pueblo came into this week number 1, the only undefeated team in this region, and they played 3 teams in the RMAC the final 3 weeks of the season that have a combined 9-15 record. The Antelopers from Nebraska Kearney played 3 teams that have a combined record of 12-12 the rest of the way. 2nd and 14. Gravely rushing near side across the 20. He gets upended by Lumumba Ishmael. Hit him at the 17. He went flying through midair to the 12. Picked up 8 yards and brings up 3rd and 6. Duluth was 3rd. They're going to fall maybe out of the top 6. Wayne of Michigan was 4th. They're hosting Saginaw Valley State today. That's never easy. St. Cloud was 5th. They finish at Bemidji next Saturday, and then they'll host the Dragons in 2 weeks. So maybe the Dragons could have, if they can give St. Cloud a game and a part in the regional rankings. Here's 3rd, and they're going to call it 7 from the 12-yard line. They're going to keep it on the ground. Gravely tried to spin away from Jeff Schutte, couldn't. Might have even lost a yard, and he'll go down at the 12-yard line, bring up 4th down, and they're going to bring on the kicking unit here with 12 minutes, 40 seconds left to play. The Marauders lead the Dragons 49-13. Third quarter score. How about this one? How about a deflated Bemidji squad? Northern State 6, Bemidji nothing, midway through the third quarter. This will be Ryan. Tyler Ryan trying a 28-yard field goal. This one's on its way, and this one's good. We'll take a break. 12:18 left to go. It's now Mary 52, MSU Moorhead 13.
Courtyard by Marriott Moorhead surrounds travelers with all the conveniences that make business and pleasure travel easy. Our 126-room hotel and conference center was beautifully renovated in 2011 and features 2 indoor pools, restaurant, lounge, full-service Starbucks, and 24-hour exercise facility. Located just minutes from Minnesota State University Moorhead, Courtyard by Marriott is your home away from home when traveling to Moorhead. Reserve your room today at Marriott.com/FARCY or by phone by calling 218-284-5023.
All right, so Tyler Ryan hits a, 27-yard field goal, and I was trying to do the math. 31 unanswered for the University of Mary.
Yeah, 21-13 at one point, Stephen, in the second, third quarter? Yeah, the Dragons starting, seems so long ago. And at that point, it seemed a competitive football game, as you mentioned, and obviously Mary's still a stronger, more dominant team. We couldn't kid ourselves about that, but the Dragons have bounced back. Things look good, and suddenly, the hammer came out, and the Marauders put their foot on the gas now, 52-13, 31 unanswered points here in the second half.
This will teach us for worrying about the extra point that was missed by Wes Kramer. Incredible that we did think about that, and now we're at a 39-point spread.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you were an offensive coordinator, you would love to be on the Marauder side of the ball right now because they can run it for 339 yards. They can throw it for 319. What a mix. And you talk about big stars, Craig Bagnell, Josh Murray, Tyler Steffen, all of them having huge afternoons against the Dragons.
Here's Tyler Ryan. He's also had a nice day. 7 of 7 on extra points and a field goal. He'll kick this one to the 11-yard line near side. Leach, loose, and it's the kicker, Ryan, who wrestles him down at the 37-yard line. A 26-yard return for Alex Leach.
Yeah, and it really, the Dragons can't make too many changes. I know you're thinking in a game like this, sometimes maybe you'd bring some younger players in the game. What young players have got are probably in the game. They don't have a lot of options. They don't have a lot of personnel possibilities. They'll stay with their quarterback. Matt Burr will come in from Columbia Heights, one of their wide receivers. But basically, they're going to have to play it out with the same cast they got.
Yeah. Here's Cook. He's going to lob it to Brandon Shell. He almost hits one of his offensive linemen, Casey Grotham, in the rear end as he overthrew that ball. Cook.
And stops the clock. So the clock is stopped. The Marauders glance up, 12:07 left.
You just took a break. Why'd you have to come back? You're going to remind us of that? You want to throw some cold water down my jacket? It does stop the clock. You know, I used to be a hockey official, and used to have something called running clock when there was a 6-goal lead. I think we're beyond 6 goals here, aren't we? Shell in the backfield. They'll keep it on the ground. Shell up the middle. Gets nothing. One of the Marauders, Nick Polsky, sophomore linebacker out of Anoka, Minnesota, on the stop for no gain. Again, we'll try it next Saturday. The Dragons will have 2 games left, one at home, one on the road. The one at home will be against Northern State, 12:40 airtime, 1 o'clock kickoff, Dragons and Wolves. You weren't here. You took a little break. You didn't hear that score. Third quarter, Northern State 6, Bemidji nothing.
Wow.
What the heck is going on?
Can we say they peaked when they played the Dragons, perhaps?
What is going on with my beloved league? Now they're going to try that little dump pass again. Middle screen, Brandon Shell, and he gets stood up and taken down. Deshaun Benton, the same guy that ran out of the locker room with a paddle in his right hand flying high, just paddled Brandon Shell down for no gain at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, from Modesto, California. Probably grew up with that Felpa and some of those mean gang out of American Graffiti. Isn't that where it was from? Modesto.
What's he doing with the
You
paddle?
bet it was. Harrison Ford, one of the lead actors, but I think Deshaun Benson's doing more than his old to hold up his name. From Modesto, California. A lot of active defenders today for Mary. Another 3 and out for the Dragons.
Here's Lazan to here for the first time today, punting with the win. Good punt. To the 17-yard line. And Jake Ledding's going to make the tackle at the 30. 44-yard punt with the win. It does make a difference.
Yeah. And we mentioned about some of the Dragons' lack of depth, and that's been well documented with the red shirt situation, injuries, and other factors. So, again, you are seeing, too, essentially the same defensive unit that must go out time and time again. And that's really got to be draining stuff. This game is certainly beyond winning at this point, 52-13. You want to hang your hat on as a competitive half as you can play. But, man, defensively now, the will has got to be beginning to kind of seep out.
Yeah, and as happy as those Marauders are, they are holding their breath right now as Myron Schultz is going to come out to the far hash 33-yard line. One of his players is down and apparently injured. So we'll take a timeout. 10:35 left to go. It's Mary 52, the Dragons 13.
Making energy-efficient improvements to your home has never been easier. Moorhead Public Service is offering Bright Energy Solutions, which provides cash incentives to customers who install energy-efficient equipment. Incentives are available on a variety of Energy Star appliances, as well as energy-efficient HVAC equipment. Contact Moorhead Public Service today by calling 299-5400 or visit Bright Energy Solutions online at brightenergysolutions.com. That's brightenergysolutions.com.
Let's hit the kind of sort of Wayback Machine. 2.5 hours or so when I interviewed Dragon head coach Steve Lockway. And the final question I asked him was, the Dragons will win today if. I'll get you his answer in a moment. Darius Gravesley, sweep left side. He'll get to the 40-yard, almost the 40-yard line, pick up 6 or 7 yards. His answer was, if we can run the football and stop them from rushing the football, the thems have 300 more rushing yards than the us's.
Yeah, and, you know, it was a well-intentioned, and that was a focal point this week. Stop the run, but they've been unable to do that. And when you average 13 yards to carry like Mr. Murray has, wow.
Here's 2nd and 4. Almost a tragedy that Gravely only picked up 6. He'll get another try. He'll go right by Schutte into the hands of Jake Ledding, who wrestles him forward. A gracious yard pickup, compliments of Jake Ledding, who makes a nice tackle at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we mentioned the game has kind of gotten away from the Dragons here in the second half. We don't mean in any way to indicate that that's something that Murray has done with any intent to run the score up or anything like that. Not at all. They've kind of settled back more into their running game, but the Dragons have been unable to stop, and particularly Murray just has been explosive back today. Gosh, man. Early on, it was the wideout receiver, particularly Stephan, that haunted the Dragons on this pre-Halloween night, and now in the second half, it's been Murray.
Here's Gravely again. Schutte runs him down. He's going to lose 2 or 3 yards. Gravely's not getting up so fast, but I think he's just upset that he slipped. If he wouldn't have, Schutte would have belted him. I'm almost joking when I say this, but it's almost not so funny if you ask this, or if you say this to the coaching staff. If you want the next NSIC Offensive Player of the Week, it's especially on the ground. It's who's playing the Dragons that Saturday.
Well, that's been a problem. We would be less than honest if we didn't indicate that. But also, of course, the Dragons, on the flip side of that, have stalled out offensively in this half, and so they're at that point now not giving their defensive guys any help either.
Not that first drive. Here's a punt. It's going to go backwards and then touched up and grabbed by Jake Nicholson, a special teamer. Short punt. In fact, just 22 yards, and the Dragons will take over the 41-yard line. Clock is locked for the moment. 8:18 left to go. Kevin Cook and the offense will come out. We got to see Kwame Bailey for the first time playing defensively. Looking for Matt Burr again. We see Bark Williams, Alex Leach, Kendall Hendon. Remember, Pearson is dinged up. Certainly hope he can come back next week. Burr on the sidelines. 1st and 10. Dragons, 41-yard line. Far hash, trailing 52-13. Shell cuts it up. He'll pick up a yard to the 42.
Yeah, you see too many Dragons on the sideline with blue jeans. Nothing wrong with blue jeans, but when you got your blue jeans and game uniform on, you're not coming back into this ball game.
Boy, look at them all. Wes Kramer, Brad Howard got hurt last week. There's Alex Pearson. There's another one. Oh, Callahan's still out there. A couple red shirters, or red shirts. Here's 2nd and 9. Cook's going to keep this one. He'll dive forward, maybe pick up a yard. Only good news is 30 or so more seconds are going to come off the clock. You knew Mary had a good football team. You knew Mary was going to put a lot of points up on the board. Did you expect this?
No, I don't think. Last year was very disappointing because the Dragons felt they had a reasonable chance to win a football game at Mary. In fact, I think that they were quite confident. I remember on that trip out there. And that game dissolved very quickly as Marauders jumped them 28-0 en route to a big win. But I didn't expect this today, but I think we knew that Mary was a better football team. And the problem when you're an underdog, you need everything to go right, offensively, defensively. You need a lot of breaks. But it appears
3rd and 9, middle screen will go for 5 yards. Shell gets taken down hard at the 48-yard line. So let me ask you this multiple-choice question. This will be 6 wins in a row for Mary. Dragons are going to kick it. 6 wins in a row for Mary over the Dragons. 3 in a row of the blowout capacity or blowout style. Is it about time the Dragons start giving this team a little bit of respect?
Yeah, well, I think they do. I think they certainly, I think this staff does. Let's put it that way. Maybe not some of our previous staffs probably didn't quite expect what they got out of Mary.
Here's Lazan to here. High end-over-end kick. L.B. Pope's going to grab it at the 4-yard line. 44-yard punt. Takes a left-hand turn up the numbers. A flag comes down, and so does L.B. Pope, just shy of the 20-yard line.
Yeah, this paddle trophy started with the idea from representatives from each school, not in the athletic department, the student representatives, but they thought, well, they're both river cities, and Mary sits on the mighty Mo, the mighty Missouri, and of course the Dragons nearby the mighty Red River. So that made for a pretty good backdrop for this kind of thing. The problem is it never really got going. It hasn't turned into much of a rivalry, unfortunately, because the Dragons have been kind of reluctant to really participate in it. And Mary, surprisingly, has won all 5 games, and they're going to win the 6th today. But I think ultimately this could settle into a very competitive rivalry. It really should. They're 2 similar kind of football programs, and this really ought to be something kind of special. And hopefully it will be beginning next year.
Yeah, this is a penalty against Mary. 6 minutes, 4 seconds left to play. I think Mary is going to continue to do everybody here at Chili Alex Nemzek some favors and run the football, but just not like Josh Murray did the last 2 times he touched the football. They resulted in 48 and 65-yard touchdown runs, respectively. Gravely, left side, straight up the middle. Now he's going to reverse the field, trying to capture the edge, being chased by anybody wearing red. Still loose, gets by Lumumba Ishmael, and scampers out to the 27-yard line. One of the more adventurous, kind of fun to watch, 20-yard pickups you're ever going to see.
Yeah, kind of a roll of the dice that time by the kid from Las Vegas, Gravely, but boy, he's giving him a lift as well. It's like you can put anybody in a white and blue uniform out there, and they're going to perform well.
What balance by this Mary. You know, Steve Lockway knew they can run it if they really need to, but they know they can pass it. 343 rushing yards, 319 passing yards. They're approaching 700 total yards. Edwards out of the gun. Gravely takes a more traditional path as he runs from point A to point B. He gets bopped on the play by Ben Condon after no gain.
Yeah, this game is kind of, it appears to have gotten away in the second half, but I think it really started a lot earlier. Probably at a morning meeting when Coach Lockway invited in a motivational speaker, talk. The team really didn't do a good job. It was kind of a lot. Oh, wait a minute, that was me. Maybe that's what I did wrong. I had the privilege talking to him. I'm not sure the message I sent was very good, but this game has changed dramatically here in the second half after really a competitive first half, and Mary cruising to win number 6 in a row over the Dragons.
God, we had photographers in here. You're having a story written about you in the school newspaper. There's Ben Condon making a spinning tackle at the 30-yard line. You're giving pregame prep talk?
Well, no, if I did, it didn't work very well. It was kind of a different. They have different people they ask to come in during the year and talk to the team. But I do feel good. They had Nikita Koloff and Ross Fortune earlier, so I thought if I could be in company of those two people that I admire a lot, that was a pretty special moment. But,
well, here's the score. I'm not good at math, but I think I got this one nailed. Nikita Koloff, the ex-professional wrestler, Scott Simpson, who played for the Dragons 30 years ago, he gave the pep talk before the Crookston game. Dragons won that game. They're not going to win this game. I think it's Nikita 1, you nothing.
Yeah. And we're not going to argue with Nikita about it, trust me. Nikita Koloff, of course, one of the many former Dragons are back earlier this year, the honored championship teams from 71, 81, and 91. Well, there'll be no championship for the Dragons in 2011. We know that. The hope is that their foundation is being set for a run down the road. That's what this staff has in mind. That's what the school is thinking. That's what these players have committed to. But right now, they're not getting rewarded much today for a lot of hard effort.
Yeah. Mary runs the ball almost as if to say, you know what, Coach? It's as if the coaches are winking at one another, saying, you run the clock, we'll run the clock, then we'll go both have a big old cup of hot chocolate. Here's Ryan. High kick. Touched by one of the Marauders. So this will be down to about the 43-yard line. 30-yard kick, no return.
Yeah. One of the few mistakes, and it really didn't hurt them, that went off the leg of one of the Marauders. I think it was Trevor, check that, Kyle Holitz from freshman lineman from Billings, Montana. So the Dragons will have it at the 46, their own 46, will have the wind advantage. And that really doesn't mean a lot now.
You know who Holitz is, though? That's their long snapper. That means the long snappers have been involved in this game twice, not just with snapping the ball, because Bryson Pluta made the big hit and recovered that fumble earlier when this was still a football game. Cook remains the quarterback. He's taken every snap from center this year. And he's going to give the ball, and we're going to have a new running back for the Dragons. For the first time ever, it's Bryce Fike. And he'll pick up a couple of yards. Scotty, tell us about Bryce Fike.
Bryce Fike is from Georgetown, Minnesota, played in Norman County East, and his father, Ron Fike, came out of the Duluth area, was an offensive lineman for some of those really good Dragon teams in the 1980s. I know he's here watching his son, and I'm sure he's pretty excited right now to see him get in this football game. 2:49 left, the clock running down, 52-13. The Marauders from Mary comfortably in front.
And we do have a new quarterback. It's our favorite Canadian, Bryson Pluta, taking some snaps. He's going to hand it off to Fike. Where'd Cook go? Is he on the sideline? I don't see Kevin Cook anywhere.
The Cal Ripken of the NSIC sits down at last, right? Kevin Cook.
He takes an inning off. He's still going to get another couple of starts. But Bryson Pluta came in here 4 years ago as a quarterback. And now the last couple of years, I don't know if he might be the only professional football player ever to go from quarterback to potential professional long snapper. He's on the business end of this one. 3rd and 7 from the 48-yard line. Fike in the backfield. Pluta throws. Complete. He hit Matt Burr. That's good enough for a first down.
Yeah, I don't think you would have had that on your pass-catch combination at the beginning of the game, would you? Pluta to Burr, but a first down. A couple of guys right there that, kind of shows a couple of young guys that stay in the program, don't get a lot of playing time, don't get discouraged, and if so, they certainly don't let it affect their attitude. They come to work, come to practice every day. Really good guys to have on a team. Fun to see them have a little fun here late in a football game.
Yeah, I've said Burr a couple of times today,
Yep.
but you're right. Pluta, he's showing some spunk. He lowers his head, and on second effort, he'll pick up 3 or 4 yards to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, so the Dragons did empty the bench, and we mentioned it's a thin bench for reasons that we've documented many, many times. But what was left got into this football game, and they're going to make the most of every precious second they've got out there, trust me.
Yeah, I see Logan Romines on the front, so, oh, wow. Here we go. It's Drew Froling snapping to Bryson Pluta, so our favorite Alaskan snapping to our favorite Canadian on 2nd and 7. 75 seconds left in this ball game. That's apparently gotten away from us as well. Pluta's going to run it himself, and he's going to lower the boom on Cordell Wolf, sophomore linebacker out of Harvey, Minnesota. I bet you when he signed up for this game, he didn't think a 280 pounds was going to come down in front of him.
No, kind of a poor man's Tim Tebow out there right now, right? But, brings a lot on it, I tell you. He's just quite not as gifted as their quarterback that's getting all the headlines out in the Rocky Mountains.
I want to see him at full speed. I want to see him at full speed.
I think he just did.
Yeah, what? By leaning forward. Here's 3rd and 3 from the 37-yard line. I'm not going to hear the end of this from the Pluta family because I know they come down. I know they travel really well. Here's Spike. He's going to have a first down, a lot more. He's even being pulled ahead by one of his offensive linemen, T.J. Womack, with 24 seconds left in the ballgame. I'm going to get in trouble with our friends from Canada.
Well, he's our own Dudley Do-Right or something, right? He comes along, and we like our Canadian pals, and we trust him. He is one likable young man, and certainly has a lot of teammates that care deeply about him.
And I think Steve Lockway cares about one thing, and that's getting this football game done. 52-13 is your final. We're back with the post-game show after this. You're listening to live coverage of MSU Moorhead football on the Eagle 106.9.
For over 20 years, Richards Transportation has served the Fargo-Moorhead area with reliable, comfortable, and timely charter services. They can charter transportation for up to 55 people and will happily escort you to your destination anywhere in the U.S. Their professional, courteous drivers do their absolute best to make sure your ride is a comfortable one with the help from comfortable, oversized buses, each equipped with video and TV. To find out how you can get on the bus, call Richards Transportation at 233-3404.
So there's this place called Qdoba Mexican Grill.
Their food is good. It's great. And Qdoba offers a lot more because their menu is big.
Massive.
Their menu is like the Moby Dick of Mexican restaurant menus. In fact, they've got a whole section of signature burritos you can't find anywhere else.
Like the Ancho Chili Barbecue Burrito or the 3-Cheese Queso Burrito.
And what about their Craft 2 menu with nachos and grilled quesadillas?
There's just more to explore at Qdoba. That's why I'm there every day.
I'm there right now.
I'm waving at you from across the room.
We meet again, old friend.
Qdoba Mexican Grill.
More to explore.
It's now time for the Dragon Football Postgame Show, brought to you by the Howard Johnson Inn and Side Street Grill.
52-13. There's not many pleasant things to say about the final 25 minutes of this football game. Won't you try to put a chili ribbon on this one?
Well, University of Mary, very, very impressive performance. Let's give them all due credit. They ran the ball extremely well. They threw the ball well. And defensively, they came up with a lot of big stops. And then the answer, kind of when the Dragons had them, if not reeling, had them concerned a little bit. The Dragons had drawn within 8. The Marauders were quick to regroup, put their best foot forward, literally, and it happened to be Murray's foot, I think, and really dominated in the remainder of the second half. This is a pretty good football team, and no wonder how they took apart Bemidji State last week. So we know that's no mirage. We've seen Mary up close and personal, probably seen up close and personal all we want. So they dominate in the second half. But again, the Dragons made some strides, but the inability, I think, to get enough done offensively, and then they just ran into very, very good